What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live on this fine Thursday evening. Starting off the day with two handsome gentlemen here. We should have more people coming in later. But as you can see, guys, we got Chris, the Collecting Madness. Chris, before
Yes,
you say
sir.
anything, I want to give a big congratulations to you guys. Chris just hit 1,000 subscribers. I know firsthand that is no easy feat. There's a lot that goes into it. And I know Chris put a lot of work into it. So, guys, if you're just coming in, please say congratulations to Chris. And also, guys, I want to thank you so much for those of you here that have supported Chris since he started. I very much appreciate it. And I know Chris does. So, big congrats to you, Chris, for hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. And by the way, guys, stay tuned to the end because I know Chris is probably going to announce a giveaway for his channel. For hitting that 1,000 subscribers. And he got something really cool for the giveaway today. So stay tuned till the end. Chris is going to announce that at the end of the stream. So, but big congratulations to you, Chris, for hitting 1,000. That's so incredible. And as Chris is about to say something, I got to pull in Mike. Mike, you're here just in time, bro. We just got started. So
perfect. Sorry, I'm a little late, guys. Good to see you all.
No, you're not late, dude. Right on time.
Bro.
Good to see you, bro. It's great to have you. There's some crazy stuff today, bro. Like I messaged you earlier and I was like, dude, holy shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
A lot going on, right?
Yeah, from everybody. But Chris, back to you, dude. Thanks for being here. And once again, big congrats to you. And thank you so much, everybody in the chat, saying congrats to Chris for hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. Like I said, it's a lot of work, guys. So it's no easy feat.
Congrats, dude.
I think Chris is muted. But moving on to Mike. Mike, thank you so much for being here, bro. Like I said, you're right on time. Looks like Chris might be lagging a little bit. He's got like that deer in the headlights look right now. He was saying he was lagging earlier. Yeah, something's going on there. But Mike, thanks so much for being here, bro. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on some of this stuff. And especially on that Lord of the Rings figure that popped through from InArt and that little teaser photo. I know nothing about it, as you know. So that's one I'm going to be consulting you on to hear your thoughts on them doing a figure of that character because I know nothing about it. So
yeah,
great to have you here as always, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
Awesome, dude. And Chris, did you get your stuff figured out? Are you good?
Yeah, I didn't turn off my Bluetooth and my phones went to my actual phone and I had to turn that off.
It's like he's 80
I lost
years
you
old.
for a sec.
Yeah, he's like 80 years old, man. We gotta let him
Main
figure
thing
out his
I wanted to say
difficulties.
was thank you for having me here. Thank you for saying what you said. Really appreciate it. And you are right. It's a huge feeling. It's a good feeling. And I love seeing the people who are in these chats all the time. I love Thursdays. And I love seeing that transfer over onto my channel sometimes in the comments. I see a lot of you guys there. So super thankful for all the support. Super grateful. And going to keep hitting on the road. Going to keep on climbing.
Absolutely. But yeah, congratulations once again, Chris. And again, thank you everybody for the love in the chat for Chris. We really do appreciate that. It means a lot, guys, when you get a little bit of recognition for the time you put in. So we really do appreciate that. Looks like Sean dropped out. We do have Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare here. I know he's on his phone. He's getting stuff figured out. But while he's doing that, guys, we're going to say what's up to some people in the chat, and then we're going to get started as always. So let me scroll up a little bit, see who we got in here tonight. A lot of people, 19 people already. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Manny, first one in tonight. Manny says, and guys, I don't know. I hope you like the new color layout for the messages and stuff. I changed it up a little bit from the one I've been using ever since I started. But Manny says, some guy says, one of our great moderators, by the way, he says, let's go InArts, making our dreams come true. Cavill and Reeve. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my video that I put up today about like 5 DX Artisan figures I want. I literally filmed that yesterday. And one of the figures I wanted was Christopher Reeve. And then what the hell? We wake up today and InArt's making a Christopher Reeve and a Clark Kent, dude. Like, what are the odds? So you guys got to watch that video. I put something pretty funny in the middle of that video regarding the Christopher Reeve one of that figure. I put something funny in there because obviously I had the information afterwards before I actually posted the video that the InArt Superman was being teased. So definitely check that out, guys. I thought it was really funny. But thank you so much for being here as always, some guy. We have Peyton 23 in the house. What's up, Peyton? Peyton is another one of our great moderators. Peyton says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Peyton. Peyton, I know you were really hyped for a lot of the stuff that was dropped over the past week. So really excited to hear your thoughts as we talk about this tonight. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Very much appreciate it. Boba Fettuccini is in the house. What is up, Boba Fettuccini? One of my favorite names on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, Boba. We very much appreciate it, my friend. I hope you're doing well. It's great to have you here. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on all the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. We have David in the house. David's been busy. I almost feel bad to try to send him an invite lately, but I want to get David back on the stream. You know, some of you guys explained to me that there's too many people on the screen at one time, so I'm trying to keep it tight. But I want to get David back on. But David, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I was actually just talking to him. I very much appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Who else do we have here? Let's see. I'm scrolling through here, guys. Let's see. Yes, guys. And some guy, thank you so much for sharing this. If you guys aren't in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group, we're almost at 500 members, and it's really picking up, and it just makes me feel good because it's like we're always posting stuff in there, and everybody's always sharing information. And it's just so awesome to see like us being first on all the information being shared around. Everybody's dropping it in there so quick. So if you haven't already, if you have a Facebook account, head on over to the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. We also have a messenger chat in there. And there's a lot of good conversation in there about some great stuff going on in the 6-scale world. So definitely head on over there if you haven't already. Let's see. Let's see who else we got. Sorry, guys, I'm scrolling through. Eclectic Collector is here. Eclectic Collector says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Eclectic Collector. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's great to see you as always. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts. HG is here. Commander Green. Commander Green says, hello there. Happy to catch the stream. It's been a minute. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, we took last week off. Sorry about that, guys, but it's great to be back. And, you know, last week it was kind of like, you know, it was a sign, you know, all the stuff we were going to talk about last week completely got overshadowed because the following morning, or maybe that night, actually, that's when Tobey and all those other figures got announced. So people would have forgotten about that on the replay within the next day. So it was like, you know, it was a silver lining. So sorry we missed you guys, but I appreciate you guys understanding. But HG, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I appreciate it. Eddie Rodriguez, my boy, is in the house. What's up, Eddie? Eddie says, congrats, Chris. Thank you so much for that, Eddie. We appreciate that. And it's so great to have you here, as always. Excuse me. Collector Joey is in the house. Collector Joey says, good day, everyone. What's up, Collector Joey? Collector Joey, I saw all of the footage of you in Austin and all you guys hanging out. I thought that was really cool. But it's great to have you here, dude. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Another one of our great moderators here, Ty, is here. Ty says, hello, everyone. Congrats, Chris. And dropping the woo early. I don't know if our boy's in here yet or if he's going to be here tonight.
I haven't seen him.
We'll find out. David says, congrats, would love an autographed UPS shirt. I'm sure Chris can make that happen. I know the fame is just kind of getting to his head, so, you know, he might charge it for it, but you never know. Let's see who else we got. Sorry, I'm scrolling through here, guys. It's a lot of comments. You guys are great. Thank you so much, guys, for being here so early. OG Fan is here. OG says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, OG Fan. I know you're excited because a lot of this stuff that's been dropped recently, the Clint Eastwood figure, Christopher Reeve, Superman, all this stuff, I know it's really exciting to you. So, by the way, guys, OG Fan, another one of our great moderators. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we appreciate it. 12-inch Moose Stream. Moose, I saw some pictures of you, dude. I saw you hanging out with everybody over the weekend at that convention. That was really cool to see. I just spotted you in the crowd when I saw those photos. So I hope you had a great time. Thank you so much for being here. And Moose says, hello, community of collectors. Peacemaker and R5D4 set incoming. I did not get any emails about that yet. I'm still waiting for mine. I actually have 2 of those R5 sets on pre-order. I'm excited to check that out. My Peacemaker is finally on the way. I thought it had shipped. My friend David hit me up, David Yun, and he was like, dude, mine hasn't shipped yet. What about yours? I was like, no, actually mine hasn't. I didn't know that. So thanks for letting us know that. I have to check my email. Hopefully I didn't get an invoice because I got too much stuff coming. Let's see who else we got. Don is here, the Don Prime. Don graced us with his presence. Don says, InArt drunk Superman. Yeah. I mean, InArt the past week just decided, you know, we're going to go Superman crazy and we're going to give you everything you guys ever wanted. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I think a lot of us are. Sean is back in here. Thank you, Sean, for coming back in. It was you message. Okay. Thank you, Sean, for coming back in. But Sean didn't get a chance to say hello. So Sean, before we continue through the comments, if you want to say what's up to the people as you're just coming in, but thank you so much for being here, Sean, as always.
Well, Connor, you're welcome for my presence at this time.
Humble as always, Sean.
Exactly.
Humble as always.
You know, real quick though, Chris, congratulations.
Appreciate that, bud.
So, Mike, I hope everything's well for you. Connor,
good.
You know, I see that you're happy, so that's good.
Yeah.
You're expecting like something negative or something, and I just say you look happy, so that's good.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, man.
There's nothing there. You know, there's no conspiracy theory you have to start out there or anything.
All right. Well, thanks, Sean, for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate the kind words.
Hey, you're welcome. We get paid for this, right?
Guys, I made like $16 last month. That's less than what I make, or that's less than what I pay for StreamYard. I can't pay you guys. We've had this conversation so many times.
Dude, $4.
Guys,
that's why the panel's getting shorter and shorter each week.
Right, you know, people just keep dropping off because they're
like $4 YouTube. I love you long time.
Right. They told me they wanted $100 a stream. I'm like, dude, I'll be in the negative after one stream. They wanted 100 a stream. Yeah, you know, Sean, I know you're the generous one with your rate, but still, it's like, dude, I can't keep up. But real quick, let's say what's up to the rest of the people in the chat, and then let's get started. CSI Grism says, Ooga Booga collectors, hold on to your wallets. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a crazy time over the next few weeks for pre-orders for sure. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming. And for those of you who haven't pre-ordered your Superman yet, that's another pre-order that a lot of people are going to drop soon. So Control-Delete is here. Control-Delete says, morning all, currently finishing my morning walk. We'll look at the replay after I freshen up. Well, thank you so much for popping in, and I hope you enjoy the stream. Let's see. Brick Artemis, what's up, bro? Brick Artemis says, good evening, all. I hope you're doing well. It's great to see you in here. I hope you're doing well, man. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on all this stuff this week because it's been super crazy, but yet super exciting. So we're going to talk about it, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Duran Moss is here. What's up, man? Duran Moss says, sorry, Duran or Duran, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, please let me know. I know I pronounce your guys' usernames wrong all the time, and you guys are just too nice to let me know. So please let me know. But Duran says, good evening, guys. Such a great panel. Appreciate that, dude. I'm blessed to have all these awesome people with me here tonight, and all of you guys. You guys are awesome, so we appreciate it. No CSI Grism. Unfortunately, I'm just sick, so next week I'll probably have a normal voice again. So, dude, CSI is always slinging insults at me, dude, and then at the same time he's nice to me. Come on, man. I'm not even gonna read Don's comment. Let's see who else we got, guys. I'm just scrolling through. Jordan says, Connor, also known as Nostradamus. Yeah, you know, Jordan, she was giving me crap earlier because she bought my my Reeve Superman a few months back, and then she was like, you knew about this. You knew about this Reeve Superman, and you sold it to me anyway. I was like, there's no possible way I knew about that. There's just no way, right? InArt wouldn't tell. InArt doesn't know who I am. They don't know who I am. Maybe not yet. Maybe they will. I don't know. But yeah, I know you're just giving me some crap, but yeah, guys, if you want a Superman, maybe it's for sale. I don't know. I think that's everybody. If I miss you guys, of course, as always, as you comment, I will say what's up to you as I see you guys pop through. There's just so many comments. Great looking panel. Well, that's so kind of you, dude. We very much appreciate that. And I see Austin Nicholas in the chat. I see Jazzy in the chat. What's up, guys? It's great to have you guys here as always. Austin, also you too, dude. I hope you had a fun time. It looked like you did. Well, look at that. We have a super chat this early on. OG, we very much appreciate the fight. See, guys, we're $5 closer to getting you that $100 a stream that you guys asked for. We're $5 closer thanks to OG fan generosity. We very much appreciate that. OG fan says, congratulations on 1K subs. Collecting Madness. Always proud to be a pre-1K guy before y'all get too big. Let's have a great show. So much fire. Yes, thank you so much. We very much appreciate that. And of course,
never too big though. Like, and yet, we wouldn't be here without them, to be honest.
Well, I always say we're nobodies, guys. We're just people with toys that record videos. We're nobodies.
If they're not watching or here, then it doesn't happen. Like, period. So thank you guys for real.
True. And Chris, because you know, OG fan has taken us back to when you first started. We got to start with the OG super chat message. We got to go with the OG, and especially because this is directed towards Chris. So here you go. This is for you. OG fan, we very much appreciate it.
Now, son, you make sure you get them hot doors packed in there.
Super chat.
What's that?
Super chat.
Oh. Hey there. Heard you gave us a super chat. Well, Hot Toys Hotline and I just want to say thank you very much.
Good stuff. Well, once again, thank you so much, OG. That was very generous of you. And again, big congrats to Chris. What a better way to celebrate it. We got Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles. Dude, Jeremy, you know, recently Ryan started buying stuff from Jeremy, and Jeremy's been just trolling me, dude. He's like, yeah, Ryan's my favorite now. So that's all he says to me. He's like, Ryan's the best. Ryan, he loves Ryan. Those guys have a bromance now. So I am now his second favorite streamer. So guys, with that being said, do not check out Jeremy Costa from Plastic Hero Collectibles. Even though there is a link in the description, don't check him out because, why would you do that? I'm just kidding, of course, guys. Definitely check out Jeremy Costa, especially if you're interested. He's super legit. And especially if you're looking for the new stuff that's dropping. I know he put up a pre-order list and his prices were actually pretty fair compared to some other resellers. So definitely head on over to the Facebook group. The link is in the description and get yourself some of that limited stuff because I know a lot of people are gunning for that Iron Man and for that Scarlet Witch and all these other figures. So definitely check them out for sure. Let's see who else we got here. I think that's everything, guys. I can't believe we haven't started yet. You guys are just getting me talking here. Special delivery.
What do you want to talk with? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about, we're going to start it off strong. We're going to talk about something that popped through this morning, guys. Something just kind of slipped through the cracks right after that InArt tease. That's going to be Chopper, guys. We're going to talk about Chopper. And guys, I know a lot of people are probably excited to talk about the InArt. We're going to talk about the InArt, but we got to start with the appetizer and then we'll get to the main course. So, guys, we finally got our Chopper. For those of you guys who were fans of Star Wars Rebels for years, like I have been, and many of the other people on this panel and in the chat have been, this is really like a blessing announcement. I mean, how crazy is it that we've finally been given a chance to start building our Phoenix squad in 6-scale form? I don't know about you all, but this was extremely exciting for me. For some people who maybe haven't tuned into the Ahsoka show and haven't watched Rebels, you could just be like, oh, whatever. But for me, guys, it really checks all the boxes. I love Chopper as a droid. To me, R2-D2 has a different personality. Chopper is just crazy, dude. Like the stuff that he does. I love the little like muscle pose that he does. And the fact that Hot Toys pose him that way in these photos is just hilarious to me. And he's just got so much personality. And I've loved him over the years through the Star Wars Rebels show. And I love him in Ahsoka. So for us to finally get him in 6-scale form is just absolutely incredible to me. And he looks awesome. I want to start by saying that I think he looks great. Really anything that you could ever want from a Chopper figure, you got right here. And not only that, guys, I hate to pull this photo up so quickly, but right off the rip, we got Hera Syndulla just chilling in the corner. Like, come on, guys. I mean, if this doesn't get you excited, if you're a Star Wars fan, I don't know what does. I'm super pumped for this. And I do think this is probably going to be the next one announced, if not for the Ahsoka the White, because we have her tease on the coming soon page. But I'm really, really excited to get this group going. And the fact that they gave us this tease just really was the icing on the cake. We already got Chopper, and then they throw Hera in the photos. It's just absolutely incredible, guys. And I'm really, really excited about this. Now, I will say, I know a lot of people are asking about pricing on this one. Actually, we just had a comment pop through from Joe P. What's up, by the way, Joe P? Joe says, greetings. How does everyone feel about Chopper's price? I thought 240 was all right since R2 was like 280. But people seem to be miffed about it. Miffed. I've never heard that before. Joe, where are you from? I'm curious to hear what miffed. I've never heard miffed before. But guys, 240, I got to be honest with you. I think it's very fair. I don't know if there's any die-cast components at all in this one. This doesn't appear to have a die-cast dome to me. If you guys are familiar with the R5D4, this seems to be like a similar construction to that one from what I can see in these photos. But I don't think 240 is bad. I don't know about you guys. When I saw 240, I was like, I'm cool with that. I not even for a second was I like, 240, that's a little too high. I think 240 is fair, man. So me personally, 240, I'm cool with that. If you get it through places like Off the Racks or, from Jeremy, who sells figures cheaper than Sideshow, you can get yourself even better of a deal. So for me, guys, I'm totally over the moon on this one. 240, no sweat. For this one, I'll pay 240. It's a very special character to me, and that's a lot of it, guys. Is it worth it to you? And guys in the chat, everybody in the chat, let us know who's picking this one up. Again, me personally, I'm totally gassed over this one. I couldn't be more happy. I'm putting together my Phoenix squad. There's not much else for me to say. And on top of that, as we jump to you, Chris, we have a tease maybe, or it's just like they're just giving us a little taste. But we have a Hu Yang hologram here as well. So that's another one I'm hoping for. We got to get Hu Yang. So Hot Toys, please give us the Hu Yang as well. This show is just so good, man. It's just been so good. Last episode was still so good. It's like, when does the so good end? Hopefully never. But Chris, What are your thoughts on finally getting a Chopper figure, and are you picking this one up, dude?
So the thing that comes to mind is like, I love my droids, and Chopper is that droid. If you know Family Guy, Star Wars, where Cleveland's like popping shots out the ship, that's basically Chopper in live action. Definitely think he needs to be in the collection. I've also been wanting this guy. I don't think like his personality's been there, but not as much as it can be. And we know what he's capable of at the end of the day anyway. But 240 did take me back a little bit. I thought it was a little bit compared to R2. You know, he's a bit smaller. I don't know fully completely what he comes with, and especially if there's no die-cast dome, like I don't know where the price is coming from besides the license or something like that. But I think it could be a little bit cheaper than that, considering like for just $30 more, you can start getting into like an Attack of the Clones fate like Anakin and Padme. And those come with head sculpts and stuff. So that's just my reasoning there. Other than that, I think he looks great. I like the posability you can do with him as far as what we're seeing with the hologram. Even as far as the tease of Hera and stuff, definitely have to have her. And the hologram of Huyang, like, I think they're more than likely going to do more figures out of this line than less. Just because if you look at Obi-Wan, they were doing random stuff out of that too, and they basically did. And it was I want to call it a hit, but you definitely know, like, this is a hit. Like, so far, I've barely seen any negative things about this. So I would assume, like, you're going to probably see Balin and Shin and Hera and maybe even Ezra, depending on this, 8th episode or whatever, without any spoilers. Just even like all the other stuff that we've seen, I don't want to go too deep into it for those who are waiting to watch it at the end, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're going to go heavy in this line for sure. And with all the teases that we've gotten, and so far they've come to fruition, yeah, I definitely think we're going to see a lot more. But I'm super excited for this, and as of now, I will be picking him up in some fashion. Like
Chris, we don't like that as of now. We want to hear I'm getting this for sure. I'll do whatever it takes. It's Chopper, man. We can't accept as of now. You got to be part of the Chopper crew. And like, Austin says it perfectly.
I do like my tier system. Like, I mean, if something comes out and I can't quite put it in there, like if they did Sabine, so that was like my top one, like, but I don't know. I'm still waiting to see if Shin and Balin like come, because I'd rather have them.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, Chris. But I think you make a great point. I do think basically across the board, this show is being received probably better than most of the Star Wars shows, even more so than Mando season 3. Because a lot of people have mixed opinions on that. And for me, that episode 5 was, and I've said this before, episode 5 was my favorite Star Wars TV show episode ever, period. And that's saying a lot because we've had a lot of great moments. Luke Skywalker returning, the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader in the Kenobi show, but that topped it for me, man. It checked all the boxes and it was very special. So, but I totally get what you're saying, Chris. Of course, it's all on the level of importance, and like you said, they very well could just pop up with something crazy where that takes priority. But for me, like I said, and Austin said too, Chopper's a must. But that's for me. I totally understand your point.
I mean, I know this will be my last thing. I know there are different companies, like obviously Sideshow and Hot Toys, and they do different things. But when you look at everything that comes with that Sideshow R2, and it's all plastic. And like you can get it for $165 or a little bit. I think they raised it a little bit. And then you look at him, like we saw next to R2. He's not the same size. He's not as like small as you would think, but he is smaller than that. And if there's no die cast, like granted, he may have the ratchets and like we know the paint's good, but I mean, I still would have liked to see just a little bit off that, like maybe 200 or something like that.
Oh, I get it. I'm going to plead the fifth on talking about the Sideshow R2 because you know how I feel about it. But,
but you know what I mean.
But no, I get what you're saying.
And, to Anakin and Padme,
right?
Like $30 more, and you're in there.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, also this is a very unique figure. It's unique engineering. Had to make a new dome, new parts. So again, for me, teach their own. I think 240 is fair.
Yeah.
It's funny. Brick is talking about the Hera, because this has been a big topic of conversation. He said you could tell by the picture with Chopper that Hera is not going to have that trunk. Looks like a stick
The
figure.
legs aren't even thick enough there.
Well, right. It's just a tease. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. Hey, you can always swap the body.
The tease is supposed to get you excited.
Oh, I'm excited. It's not all about that, dude. It's about the character.
Nah, get you excited, Connor.
I'm about the character first and foremost. So I'm really excited for it. TX Boy is in the house, by the way. TX Boy says, yo, what's up, everyone? I hope y'all are doing well. This is the one time I want accuracy with cakes for Hera. Here we go, guys. This is going to be the whole stream. Everybody talking about Hera's cakes. Look, this is what Nate has done to you all. Nate has polluted your minds. Nate, what have you done?
Y'all are dirty.
Yeah. See, Brick said 240 is a good price. Absolutely right, Brick. Chris is over here talking blasphemy. No, I'm just joking.
Nah, man.
Now people are asking for rooted choppers. Come on, CSI. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Like with the braids or something.
I know, something. Clone Trooper says, now that Ahsoka figures are rolling out, I wonder if this means Hot Toys is cutting back on the Mando S3 line. I mean, they didn't really seem to go too crazy with it. I felt like they really announced the stuff that we mostly expected. And a lot of people were like, oh, we're going to get that rooted Bo-Katan. And I'm not surprised that one didn't come out. After they gave us that accessory pack, I'm like, yeah, that's a done deal. But Brick said that he's buying them no matter what. Good. That's what I want to hear.
Same.
But we're gonna move on to Mike. Mike, I loved seeing your face when I started talking about Chopper, because I could tell this one's very special for you. And we've talked about Rebels and stuff before, but man, tell us about Chopper, dude. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with all the positive, and luckily the positives are about the figure. I think it looks awesome. As far as the price, I don't know. You guys have been doing this a lot longer than me, but $240 for pricing nowadays seems, I guess, fair, especially considering that there's LED in this. There wasn't in the R5. So, yeah, I mean, also think about it. Like, Troopers are $220 to $240 now, and they are just rinse and repeat with maybe a different helmet and paint scheme.
That's true.
So I feel like, and Chopper's really just like a one-off mold. I mean, this is not, almost nothing is reusable, almost nothing.
Right. Even his torso is a lot shorter as well. His torso,
yeah, totally different. And then, as far as I'm a Rebels fan and I'm a fan of the Ahsoka show, but even if you're a Star Wars fan in general, a Ralph McQuarrie fan in general, seeing that picture of Chopper and R2 together, you're seeing like the Ralph McQuarrie concept art and then the film version of R2 as we came to know him, because originally this was the R2 design.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool just to have that on your shelf as like a historical piece, if you're a McQuarrie fan. Yeah. So it's just another aspect.
That's a great point, dude.
The only negative, what's that?
You're selling me. Keep it going.
All right, I was going to say the only negative, but let me stop. No, I think the articulation on him, he doesn't have as many accessories as R2 does, but let's be real, you're not going to use 90% of those anyway.
Oh, that's facts, bro. With the Attack of the Clones R2, all of my accessories are in the clamshell still.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just so much you can do, and they show in a bunch of the other pictures how much I guess personality you can give him with these articulated arms.
Yeah.
So I love this guy. I will say that in some places the paint does look a little flat, and that could be prototype. I mentioned that to somebody, to Shane earlier, from 16 Figure Focus, and he said, hey, maybe they're trying to kind of blend the animated look with what we see in the show. And that could be the case, but that little yellow piece right there looks a little sloppy, and then on the back, I think they show the back side of the figure in some areas. Just, I don't know. It doesn't look as real world in some places as other droids we've seen. But, I mean, I'm just really nitpicking. I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a day one for me. Now, the negatives, again, aren't about him, but you guys were mentioning, I think it might have been this shot. That orange panel back there. There's just a few panels, but maybe, again, this is just a quick paint job.
You know what that reminds me of, Mike? Not long ago, when we got the prototype for the Matrix Neo from the Matrix 4, the hand where he's holding the blue pill, the pill was literally so sloppily painted, there was paint on his actual hand.
Oh, wow.
So You might be right. They may have just, kind of painted this one up, did the best they can. And then this is what they gave us for the photo. So you very well could be right, because we've seen it like recently,
Yeah. And we've seen like a few kind of weird things, like the Batman armory, like, his hands look sort of molded into the bicep. And so we're kind of hoping they can make little changes to that. And I think this will probably be improved. And even if it's not, I mean, I would still be pretty happy with it. Sure, $220 might be a better price, but I mean, I look at that Cad Bane from Sideshow at $285.
Yikes.
So I'm just comparing it to like the world we're in right now. So, I mean, I'm definitely bringing them home. Back to what I was going to say with the negatives. You guys were talking about Ahsoka and how well received it is. It is being very well received by the people who are watching it. Unfortunately, there aren't that many people watching it compared
kind of
to
like
Kenobi.
Andor. Yeah,
exactly. It's on
Andor's
par
the
with
same
Andor. It's on par with some of the lower numbers from season 3 of The Mandalorian. So, at the end of the day, they're looking at Twitter or X, and they're looking at fan enthusiasm and interest, but they're also looking at those raw numbers. And unfortunately, this show doesn't really have it. And I'll give you an anecdote. I was at Spirit Halloween a couple days ago. There's 3 20-something-year-olds behind the counter working there. I go in, and I was kind of joking with my wife about her being Ahsoka for Halloween. And I say to the 3 20-something-year-olds, hey, do you guys have any Ahsoka costumes? They all looked at me with a blank stare and said, what? I said, Ahsoka, Star Wars. And they go,
disrespect.
Oh, we have Mandalorian and Grogu costumes. That's a problem. That might seem like minor or whatever.
Right, but you would expect, like, it's such a big show right now.
This is supposed to be, like, Star Wars is supposed to be the biggest thing around when it's on. And you ask the average person on the street, they have no idea that this show even exists. And that's... Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing the result of some lackluster performance from Star Wars, unfortunately. And the show doesn't deserve that, but it is following in the wake of that, because I've been loving it.
I think it's phenomenal. And Lane, sorry, we didn't mean to. We were just stuck in a good thought. Number one, Lane, I think this is the first time ever seeing you with a hat on. That's very weird to me. But it's great to have you here, Lane. I guess you are a Steelers fan. Lane, do you have your terrible towel with you?
Dude, you get that?
I was hoping that you would
got
take
the
it out
wrong Pennsylvania.
just to mess with Chris. Lane, we need you to bring a terrible towel next time.
Okay. I was just reading Evil Sneaker when I was reading his Evil Snoker for a second.
Well, this is Evil Sneaker. And by the way, what's up, Evil Sneaker? He says, evening, gentlemen in chat. Good evening to you. It's great to have you here, man. Great to see you in here. But Lane, awesome to have you, dude. You came just in time. We're talking about Chopper. We're just kind of finalizing Mike's thoughts.
Yeah, the figure I cared about most in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, like we're, and Chris and I were talking about that earlier. It's priority of what you like the most. But Mike, did you want to close out your thoughts? Do you have any additional thoughts before we move on to Sean here?
Yeah, final thoughts on this one is that when I saw this, I got even more excited for all these Rebels figures coming, and I pre-ordered the Grand Inquisitor just in case, because I didn't like the last episode of Ahsoka, and if the finale bombs, and I'm like, you know what, I hate this show, I'll always have the Grand Inquisitor against his Rebels opponents, so I can always
that's a good idea, dude.
like that. You know what I mean? So you can really mix and match these characters. So that's all I got.
Appreciate it, dude. Great thoughts, and you do make a good point. And like I said, I am absolutely over the moon about this show, but I do understand also that it doesn't really have as wide of an appeal because it's unknown territory for a lot of casual Star Wars fans.
Right.
Casual Star Wars fans meaning I've only ever seen the main films. That's a casual Star Wars fan, and there's nothing wrong with being a casual Star Wars fan.
No.
At all, but it's just that's why and shows like Andor as well. If you just watched Rogue one time, you're not going to be like, oh sweet, they're making a movie about that one guy in Rogue One. I can't even remember his name. I get it.
Yeah.
But both of those shows were so fantastic. But I totally understand why Kenobi would draw people in, because those are characters from the prequel trilogy. A lot of us grew up on those films. A lot of us know and love those characters. Yeah. So in a marketing sense, it does make total sense to me. And
a big name movie star,
Right.
So with The Mandalorian, you could say, hey, somebody who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, this is a space Western, jump in. You don't need to
Yeah.
know anything.
Right.
Even Andor, honestly, if you say, hey, do you like kind of like a spy thriller or something like that? But I would really never recommend this show to a non-Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
And that's not really the show's fault. I love that it appeals to me and I guess everybody else on this panel, but I also want to see Star Wars healthy and growing. And so it's weird. I have these competing forces because I want them to not just be like flat and appeal to general audiences all the time, because I want the deep dive lore. But then when you get that, you alienate a lot of people that would help the numbers and help the franchise grow. So it's a tough tightrope to walk, but those are my thoughts. And basically I'm saying all that to say that I hope we get a super robust line, and fingers crossed for this one. So.
I know. I'm right there with you and Chris, bro. Like, I'm pulling for this line. Give me my Hu Yang. Give me that Hera. Even though Hera's not exactly how Brick Artemis wants, we still want her. And, you know, it's really exciting, dude. And again, if you're a fan of this content, this is like this above me right here. This is what we want. We've been wanting this for a long time. And great point about the Inquisitors. That was part of the reason I pre-ordered them. You know, I want them all together. And I had high hopes that we would get something cool from this show. And here we are. So,
yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with what Mike said, because I had a buddy yesterday after the recent one aired. He was telling me he's going to wait till it's finished, but he's only a Star Wars fan of like the original movies and the occasional maybe like sequels. And I was telling him, I was like, if you have no clue, like Clone Wars or Rebels, and he didn't even know what that was, I was like, might be a bit lost. And to have somebody try and watch that and explain that you have to kind of go through all that to kind of get an idea, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And by the way, I want to say what's up to Trevor from 16 Shooter. Trevor says, where are my Andor figures? Trevor, you know, I'm wondering the same thing, dude. It's definitely disappointing. I was hoping at the very, very, very least we would get Cassian, and we got nothing. So
see you in 2025 after season 2.
Yeah, see, I at this point, Lane, I guess these guys are going to eat their words, man. I was just telling Chris the other day, I can't wait for
you told me that was today we talked about that.
No, I didn't talk to you today.
I will say that the day Mace Windu, the Attack of the Clone Ones, kind of like comes out. Like Mace Windu, like Chris Connor's going to have like a hat on top of his head.
I'm going to bring out my Mace Windu lightsaber. I'm going to be swinging it all over the place on stream.
You're going to have like a hat with a chair set up so that Mace Windu figure is like sitting there on his throne on top of your head the entire time. So we have to say, so what happened? When is Mace Windu coming?
Yep.
There it is, right there, Chris.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's just going to be wearing that on his head the entire time, so we have to stare at it.
Yeah,
or where Hulk is, like Mace Windu's going to be sitting there.
Oh yeah, Mace Windu's going to be right next to me. Don't you worry. My 2 of them. I got to order another one soon. But Trevor, I know you're really pumped about that InArt stuff today, man. I can't wait to talk about that. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. And Trevor says the show's only about a 7 for him, but I want the Rebels in 1/6. Fair point, dude. Like I said, for me, this is a really, really good show. But I totally get it.
Even if you didn't love the show, but you can probably get if you like Rebels, you can get in most of the characters you're probably going to be able to get in 6 scale, even if you just get it for that, for the most part.
Very true.
And a third party Kanan.
Yeah.
You know,
man, somebody, please. One of these companies doing these third party Star Wars figures, just give us a Kanan Jarrus, please. We're obviously at this point, we're not going to see him in the show. It's not going to happen. I was hoping for some random flashback that they tossed in, or maybe a Force ghost or something. Who knows? Maybe I'll pop up in the World Between Worlds.
Let's hear him named. Like, let's hear his name one.
Something for our boy who gave us the ultimate sacrifice. But
you can make the arguments to maybe the saddest death.
Oh, dude.
I mean, actual not stupid death, but like actual saddest death.
Crazy.
It's a good story.
Right.
That was one of the most emotional.
Very emotional. And then you get to see it again from another perspective. You know, it's just crazy, man. By the way, I want to say what's up to Yorvid. It's great to see you in here. Yorvid says, sorry, I don't like the show. That's okay. Especially Rosario as Ahsoka. She plays like wood TBH. So I'm safe from this line from Hanzo. That's fair, man. You know, we respect all opinions here. I could love it. You could hate it. And that's cool with me.
I would say possibly I can understand the first couple episodes, but I think in the last few episodes, we've definitely started to see more kind of the stoicism. Like, we're seeing a lot more emotion in the last couple episodes. So I think there's definitely been improvement if you were in that versus the first couple episodes.
For sure, for sure. Matthew says, hoping we get a Marok. I mean, that character was kind of useless. He looks cool, don't get me wrong, but if that was one of the figures on the chopping block, like, hey, do we really want to do this one?
If we were not going to get characters, if we were not going to get Hot Toys of characters who are useless, then we would not have a Revo or we would not have a Grand Inquisitor.
but here's the thing, controversial opinion. For
Yeah.
me, I think Reva is more relatable because she, there's a face that you could put to the character's name. With Marok, like he dies and then the mist goes up into the air. You know what I mean? So it's like
he was a force part. Yeah, I know.
Right. So, but Sean, you've been waiting patiently, Sean. I really want to hear your thoughts on Chopper, dude. I know you're probably really excited for this one, but tell us about Chopper, man. What are your thoughts?
All right. So my thoughts on Chopper, as I have technical issues here. Sorry, everyone. All right. So, all right. My thoughts on Chopper.
Such a build-up.
I know, right?
Where are they? He's like, I hate it.
I think is actually good. I'm actually not surprised because I was thinking the same thing as Mike, that it's a brand new mold that they would have to make for it and everything else. One thing I do disagree with on Mike, though, is I can see them reusing this mold. How many times did Ren actually paint over Chopper?
That'd be awesome.
Especially with Imperial disguises. So I can at least see them at least getting the mold done one more time. Getting their money out of it and making it an Imperial disguise Chopper.
Yeah, and then the yellow one too, like towards, I think it's season 4.
Yeah.
So there's there's a bunch of different colors.
So I could see all of that happening where they would reuse the molds for it. I'm really surprised, though, they haven't reused the R2-D2 mold for getting more droids out to us because they seem to sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, but, I'm actually really excited for this. I'm excited to see the whole line. I'm with everybody out there with the whole Andor. Yeah. But regarding Disney Plus and everything else, there's been a large boycott out on Disney Plus for a lot of reasons, and I can see that's why this is dwindling down. It's not getting the views that it would normally have, and a lot of people right now can't even afford the $15 a month for Disney Plus anymore. So, just look out there, people are struggling really hard. There's right now reports that people are struggling just trying to look for a second job just to make ends meet, let alone have time to watch Disney Plus or pay for it anymore. So I just think it's important to recognize all those factors. Now, going back to toy collecting and not the real world.
I was about to say, like, dang, Sean, you really brought down the mood. We were just talking about Chopper.
Hey, you asked my opinion, and I'm fulfilling everything.
All
here.
right, Sean.
I'm really excited for this. I did order the Ghost from HasLab.
And, me too. Me too. Best
worst case scenario,
me too,
if
man.
they don't even give us any other characters or whatever, I'm going to put this in with the Ghost. It'll be in the same cabinet area.
Oh, I thought you meant literally like you're going to put it in the Ghost. I'm like, that's going to be a tough time. But yeah, it's going to look cool, dude. I'm really excited for that piece.
But I have a feeling that we're going to get worst case scenario, Ahsoka and the droid. I can see us getting at least 2 more figures out of it. And then the troopers, I'm going to be a downer on this part here. I don't see us getting a Thrawn. I want it, and I hope we get it.
Don't say that.
But I have this weird feeling we're not going to get it just because I'm having flashbacks of Andor.
You dirty son of a...
You know what, guys? I'm getting a flashback here. This is a flashback of Mace Windu. You know what, guys? I think we have to get the Thrawn train. I am not going to sit here and let Sean tell us that we're not getting a Thrawn, guys. After all this time, we've been begging for Thrawn.
No, we sat through Mace Windu. We will not be bullied.
We will not stand for this. We're not going to stand for this.
I'm being serious. I have a feeling with how they've been limiting on things.
Thank you. The chat
I
is
have a
fighting
feeling that
back,
we won't
Sean.
get Thrawn.
No, Sean. What was
So
first?
do I
was a
want
dream.
Thrawn? Yes. Do I want everyone to have it? Yes. But I'm literally concerned that we won't get it. We didn't get a Caspian Andor, who was the star of a show.
Okay, hold up. We are not going to compare Cassian to Thrawn. Thrawn
Yes,
is a
we are.
way bigger
Yes, we are.
character. Thrawn
Come
is
on
a
now.
way bigger. As much as I love
Yeah,
Cassian,
he is. But I'm being serious. If we don't get a show that we all loved, like major Star Wars fans are really happy with and enjoyed the entire thing with, and they're not going to give us Caspian Andor with how much the hype has been for Thrawn,
That could be a license.
I don't think we're going to get Thrawn.
That could
Guys,
be a
Sean
license.
is
Because I
lying
don't
to
think
you.
I don't think Hot Toys wants to pay the price for it.
we're getting Thrawn, guys. Evil Sneaker said Thrawn, I feel like it's too big not to happen. We need him. Yes, we do. Trevor says, oh, Thrawn is coming.
yeah.
I agree.
I have one
Thrawn
thing
is
to say,
coming.
Sean.
I-
It goes like
I-
this. What was
Okay.
first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us. Sean. All right?
Facts.
I-
Sean,
hey,
don't
hey,
you
I
start
don't
this
preach
again,
it.
Sean. Don't you
I
start
don't
this
think
again.
Sean's
No, I'm not
completely
trying to start
crazy
anything.
about
I'm addressing a concern.
Sean,
There ain't no
you can-
concerns,
I'm
baby, because
afraid
we
that we
know
won't
he's
get it.
coming. There ain't no concerns. We know he's coming, Sean.
Okay, but how many times have
Don't
we
make
said
me
we
pull
know
the belt
Caspian's
on you.
coming? How many times have we said what's his name?
Many
I mean,
times we have,
Yeah.
but this is Thrawn.
I mean, we
This
don't
is
even have a
Thrawn.
freaking Imperial TIE fighter pilot yet.
I mean, but this is Thrawn. Thrawn is bigger
okay,
than that.
No,
Thrawn is bigger than that.
wait.
You were teased though.
No, okay.
I mean, we don't even
Imperial
have.
TIE Fighter flight is original trilogy has been around way longer than Thrawn has ever
But
existed.
who
Yeah.
is? Look, the general.
Dude, we don't even have a
collector-
Lane Kramer.
The general
We need a
collector.
Lane Kramer.
If you ask the general
I
collector what they want,
that.
Thrawn or Imperial TIE Fighter, I think you'd be
TIE Fighter
surprised by the
pilot.
results. And guess what? We already got a TIE Fighter pilot, so we got something.
Okay, the Force
we got something
Awakens
from Sideshow. We got a TIE Fighter pilot.
Yeah,
we
that
had,
doesn't count.
we've gotten plenty of
Anything sequel
troopers.
trilogy doesn't
Thrawn
count.
has been a main character in 9 books. Okay.
Dude, they can do
on,
troopers
sell
easy,
50,000
easy
copies.
anytime they want.
My point
No,
is, though, with this is I'm bringing out a legitimate concern, and that's it.
Yeah, but
No, you are.
the whole
No,
point
we don't
of
even
this
have
was
messing
this
with
show was
Stormtrooper
finding if
either.
he was still out there, like, and it's the main thing people have been kind of
Right,
wanting
that's-
to see.
we
is
We don't
his
even have
return.
Padme Amidala.
We do have we have a Padme,
Well, coming out now, but we haven't had it before.
and we have a third party Queen Amidala. So we're set on
A
Padme,
third
Sean.
party.
And
Just got a 3PO. So things can happen.
Yeah.
No, bro.
No, I'll just wait for InArt to get the license.
Everybody in the chat is so
No,
Thrawn.
if they're still around, and then I'll sit around for 2 years waiting for.
Okay, Joe, I wanted to leave Sean alone on that one. I'm glad that you also caught it. Sean did say
I caught it
Caspian
too, but
Andor.
I left.
I was trying to be civil, but Joe P's coming for your neck, Sean. It's like Ryan when he called Robert Patterson for like a year straight. It's that meme. It's that meme. So now we have one for Sean. We have Robert Patterson and Caspian Andor.
Caspian Andor.
Hey,
Was a guy that we wanted in a film who ended up becoming his own show, and now we're sitting here wondering what in the
Just give up, Lane. He's not going to
and
stop.
so we're not going to get.
Hey,
I'm just
you
gonna
see
say,
this, Sean? You're about to get it, pal. You got to shut your mouth and know your role, you big jabroni, because
Yeah.
Big Dog Pound says it's coming. Woo!
Yeah, how can we miss Big Dog Pound in the house? What's up, Big Dog Pound? Great to have you here as always.
all I can say is not all the chat is against.
Hey, but
Sean,
I would like to.
K592 is saying, I will sacrifice the entire Ahsoka line for a TIE pilot.
All right, look.
It says,
We don't listen.
doesn't
We don't
matter
listen to
what you
TK.
think,
He's
Sean.
always pulling some trolls. We don't listen to TK. We listen to everybody else in the chat that says Thrawn's coming.
Hey,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait,
So we're doing selective hearing.
We
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Thrawn, we are
we
selectively ignoring
we are
those
Hot Toys
opposed.
Hotline echo chamber.
We are right. We are anyone who's
only
opposed
hear
to
what
Thrawn.
wanna
We
hear.
ignore them. We ignore them.
Real quick,
Last
can I make a special request? Chris, everything you did with the fist and everything, can I have you turn out the lights and say that in an ASMR voice?
Chris, don't
Jesus
fulfill that
Christ.
request. Do not fulfill
Don't
that
do
request.
it, Chris.
All right, we're going to move on.
Plug
Guys, obviously,
it.
we're just playing about Thrawn, but we are
Before we-
serious about Thrawn. We think it's coming out. Sean does not think it's coming out. So, guys, we got different sides.
No,
But-
Sean did not say
No,
he
I
did
just
not
said
think
I'm
that. He
afraid
is
it's not coming out. I didn't say
concerned.
it's not.
He's
You know,
It's a
concerned.
fear,
I'm
not a
afraid
prediction.
it's not coming out.
It's a fear, not a prediction.
Lane,
Okay.
let's jump to you.
I want to talk about Chopper.
Yes, we want you to talk about Chopper.
The subscribe button.
All right. What did I say, Chris? I said don't do it. We're jumping. All right, Lane, please go ahead. Please, Lane, go ahead. Share your thoughts on Chopper,
Jesus,
please, so we can move on to the next figure.
This is all falling apart so fast.
Off the rails.
Yeah, so I already pre-ordered this guy. Chopper. Like, I already
Yeah, that would be
pre-ordered him.
awesome.
Although it did mean I probably pushed back me possibly. It pushed back me having to make a decision on the do-back. He kind of saved me from agonizing over that.
Sugar.
Well, no, it's because
That's a
I
big
saved
price
up-
difference, to be fair. So.
Well, no. See, the thing is, this week I had said I'd wait because I had points, like $25 worth of points go through from my BART speeder,
yeah.
and I got a $20 gift coupon, so I had almost $80, like 79 and some change. This entire week I had set for like a month ago would be the time, like put up or shut up if you're going to get the do back because you're not going to get probably a better deal, like $80 off of it. But I've been agonizing because I just don't have any place where I think I'm going to put the stupid thing, but I want it,
Yeah.
Chopper coming out here, it hasn't stopped it, but it's delayed it because I was like, well, Chopper's $240. If I'd use $20 coupon and get it for $220 for his price point, that's a pretty good chunk of change off of it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I used that and $10 and got it for $210. So,
There you go.
So I'm not out of the woods because I still want the do back, but it's one of those things where I said I literally don't know where I would put it, and it's 31 inches long. And how big's the box? There are a lot of other things you have to consider with that piece, as much as you may want it. But anyway, getting back to Chopper, dude, I love this figure. I'm just gonna say it. I don't have too much to say. I love this figure. I think he looks great. I mean, I didn't think he was gonna be the hardest thing ever to translate into plastic because we've seen the R5 and obviously multiple R2D2s, and even what they did with 3PO, like how amazing his Attack of the Clones figure came out, even though it seems like everybody's not getting it now for a while because of all the delay emails. But I just think it looks great. He's not going to be the most interesting if you love touching extra pieces or weapons or stuff like that. Like that's where you jam. But if you're not buying like much of the line, then I would probably say this guy's a total skip because he's a complimentary piece.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But he is my favorite cute murder machine of the Star Wars galaxies. I absolutely love this figure. I think it looks great. I love the arms, the flex pose and stuff.
Oh, it's the best. I'm absolutely posing my Chopper with the flex arms for sure.
That's how I do it.
Got to.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fun droid. He's kind of to me like Sabine stuff when she would do all the like her graffiti TIE fighter and stuff from Rebels.
Right. Yeah.
He just he's not as cool to me like nostalgia wise as R2D2.
Of course,
he's like is kind of the blueprint for Chopper. But of all the droids I've seen, Chopper to me is just one of the most fun characters who was a droid in the series. And I enjoyed that they brought his personality that he was able to show in animated form. Now, in limited amounts and everything, but they've been able to show enough of his personality.
Mm-hmm.
This is, you have to be, I do admit, even for the Ahsoka, because I do think we're probably going to get like 6 figures from it. But if you're having to balance budget versus, Hera or, Ahsoka or Sabine, or if we get Thrawn or we get Balin or whoever, or whatever, one of the evil witch mothers or whatever we get. It's hard for me to say 100% because he's kind of like Hera in certain respects on the important episodes that we've seen. He's kind of just off in some other place. So if you have to decide between characters to buy, like you can only get a certain number, he's one I could easily say you don't need to necessarily get this guy if you're like trying to focus on who are the main characters of the main arc. Sabine, Ahsoka, Ezra, Thrawn, Balin, or whoever they put. Those are more main characters. if you can afford it, it's like, you know, we talked about with the Inquisitors, maybe for Obi-Wan. You know, those are maybe ones versus like Vader, Obi-Wan, or well, actually, I guess it would be more maybe the Clone Trooper. That's probably the closest because that guy was nothing really to do with anything. But he looks great. I mean, he is going to be small for the price point.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, we have him here next to R2, so you can kind of see the scaling difference. But yeah, it is a very small figure. You know, Chris brought that up earlier, kind of trying to discuss the pricing to what you're getting. But again, you know, price is all subjective.
Yeah, and we don't know if there'll be any. There might be some diecast in some of the rotation pieces or whatever. I do think maybe if he was 220, 230, like not a huge price difference, but I think that would maybe fit a little bit because with the price point for the Attack of the Clones, I know that was brought up and stuff, and probably be the closest comparison for droids. That one was 285 for R2, but we got to remember that basically came with all the components that came with the deluxe version, pretty much. I think
it also has lights and sounds and a remote.
Yeah.
And stuff. Does Chopper do that?
He doesn't have. Because
it doesn't even look like he comes with a lot either. So
Just
that
lights.
makes it even a little bit worse for me.
He looks more. He comes more like R5 seems to with stuff,
right?
And the R5 had 2 other droids.
The sounds are cool, but you know, me personally, I'm not upset. Now, someone did mention in the chat earlier. I forgot to pull up their comment. They're like, you know, Chopper has such a unique voice. It would have been cool, and I agree with that. I mean, it's cool, but it's like. It's a cool factor, but is it needed? No, it's kind of like, you know, with some of these high-end 6-scale vehicles, they have fog coming out of the back of the vehicle. That's super cool, but it's not needed. You know, it's just a cool factor.
For the look or something like that.
Right. It's just a cool factor. You know, you're like, wow, that's really cool.
That is a lot like, I would say all the lightings and stuff like, say you have with the DeLorean, like all that stuff is really cool. It has those light up features. Would they be 100% necessary as long as it looked, you know, like the movie piece as much as possible?
He does have light up. He does light up, but he doesn't make sound. So he's in between R5 and R2.
Right, which I think is a good balance for the price. I think, you know, for me, again, I think there's enough there, but
I'd rather have him look like that and be cheaper than have some of the other stuff that I may never use or not care about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's a good figure release, not necessarily a great figure release, but that's because also, as you know, we've talked about like all the stuff competing for our dollars, just 1/6 scale right now. Just in the last like couple of weeks or so. If you're a Rebels fan, this guy, if you're a Rebels fan and you really like Ahsoka, or you're going to be all in on Ahsoka, whatever figures you're going to get from it, whether it's 4 or 6 or whatever, he's worth getting. But he's one you could probably skip if you have to make choices, like getting that artisan Scarlet Witch or something. If you have, you're not going to.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier. Like, you're posed with this, or for $30 more, you can get Anakin or Padme from Attack of the Clones.
Well, I've got that covered because I have both of them pre-ordered, so I don't have to worry about that. No, yeah. No, I would absolutely say get Anakin.
But that's such a blanket. That's such a blanket statement, though, because it all depends on the collector, like what's important to you, you know. So for you know, and that goes back to the same argument of like
collector.
And that also goes back to the same argument of like, you know, I pay this much for a trooper, but then I can get a figure with a head sculpt. I'd rather put a lot of people say I'd rather spend my money on a figure that has a head sculpt as opposed to paying for like sideline characters.
Okay, then go with R2 or IG-11.
Well, I mean,
again, it's the importance of the character. You know, if you're into droids, if you like Chopper, then maybe you'll. And some people don't like Hayden Christensen as Anakin. You know, some people have never been a fan of him. So
I'm switching.
You'd be surprised. Man. You know, some people may prefer this, or some people may prefer Chopper over R2. That'd be blasphemy to me. But you know, it's people have different opinions.
Yeah,
so.
and you get the other. I mean, that's to me, it's like saying which Boba should I get? Like, do you get the Book of Boba or do you get the Throne? Well, the Throne is more expensive by quite a bit, but a decent amount and much. But it comes with a head sculpt in the Throne. But a lot of the accessories, painting, and improvements to the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I think it's all personal preference.
You know,
I hate to cut you guys off. I do want to move on to the next topic because crazily enough, we've been talking about Chopper for an hour. So I'm sure a lot of people are like, but anyways, guys, we're going to move on. This one, the next one, guys, all I have to say about is if you want forgiveness, get religion. We didn't get a chance to talk about these guys last week. So we're gonna have a bit of an open discussion on this one, guys. We're gonna share our thoughts on all the Hot Toy stuff that was dropped towards the end of last week before we get to the InArt stuff.
We're about some dirt.
So many Bully Maguire third party like bodies are going to be created within the next.
I
like,
know.
year and a half.
So
it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, my plan for this one, I really like the idea of taking this head sculpt and putting it on like a topo black suit figure to kind of make the dancing Bully Maguire. So I'm gonna try to make that happen because this is, guys. I mean, and the crazy thing about this, literally, like, what was it, like a day or two prior, Chris? I was like, I would love to see them do a new black suit Spider-Man.
It was the day before.
Yeah, the day before. So, and I don't know. That may have been, I don't know if that was I don't know if I said that before they showed us the teaser of Spider-Man 3 or right as they did. I can't remember. But regardless, I was like, dude, that's what I want. I thought so. Yeah, I was like, I would love to see a new black suit Spider-Man. And then here we are, we're graced with this beautiful figure. And might I say, guys, I don't know what you guys think about this sculpt, but this sculpt to me is fantastic. I mean, they really captured young Tobey Maguire so well in this sculpt, and kind of that like jerk off attitude look on his face. It's so good, man. And like I said, this sculpt to me is like, you have to do a custom Bully Maguire dancing in the black suit, being a douche, walking around, you just have to, man. Right. Yeah, you got to, bro. It's just too good. Chris and I were talking about this the other day, like give him a piano or something, when he goes into the coffee shop. Yeah, it's just too good, man. And like, there's just so much potential with this head sculpt. It just looks fantastic. Now here's this accessory here kind of made a lot of people upset, and I understand the point to a degree, but also I'm like, it's literally like an extra accessory thrown in with the figure. You don't have to use it. But a lot of people are saying, hey, this is a Tom Hardy Venom accessory here, so it makes no sense to put with this figure. And I get that point. And, I've seen people debating back and forth. Is this Tom Hardy or is this really like an interpretation? I'm not going to get into that because we'll be here all day. Me personally, I do agree. I'm not going to use this because it doesn't fit with this version of the character, because obviously this to me does look like Tom Hardy's Venom. But I do think it's still, it's cool that they included it. It's an extra piece. It doesn't bug me this included. I don't know about you all. I don't know if you guys were like up in arms about this accessory. Me personally, I was just like never going to use that because it doesn't make sense to me, but it's included nonetheless. It's an extra piece. So I don't know about you all. Does this make you guys upset seeing this accessory? If it does, feel free. But
no, it's cool.
No, the only thing I said was it did kind of just bug a little bit, just because it wasn't seen like that in the film, and Tom Hardy's version popped out like that. Like when he was popped out, it was more symbiotic. You didn't see the redness of the tongue,
right? Like what we see here.
Yeah, almost like that for a split second. And it's kind of more distorted too.
Right.
I don't fully believe that is Tom Hardy's Venom. I think just the idea coming out, I still think it. In other photos, it looks more like Topher Grace's Venom to me. They just took the concept of like him popping out. So it's like kind of a mix.
Yeah, to me, like I said, I've seen threads, and I was like, me personally, I'm not even going to try to go one way or the other. When I saw it, it's like I could see Tom Hardy in it, but then I could see other people making points. It's like one of those things you really have to dissect it, because it's like so specific.
If you look at the eyes, it looks more like Topher's to me.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know how this thing really attaches, but like you could use this for other things. I mean, you could use it for the video game black suit. There's just some stuff you could do with it.
Yeah, and with a video game figure, Mike, it's like that one's like even more open to interpretation, because those are just like suits in the game, so you could really do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But he looks really good. Another thing, guys, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, and people in the chat as well. There's a pretty nasty seam line down the mask, and I thought that was kind of like pretty lame. I feel like that's something they could have easily avoided, but I don't know if you guys caught that. Let me see if I can get a more close-up photo of the mask. Yeah, there's a really nasty seam line going down the mask here. Can't quite see it in the photo here, but it starts here and goes down the mask. I'm hoping that they fix that, because I got to be honest with you, for a figure in 2023, and they've done so many Spider-Man figures, it's kind of puzzling to me why it has that seam line.
What's crazy, so they've fixed it with other Spider-Mans, because that's how they used to do it. And
right.
Doing it. And like, I know the first TASM, Andrew, was similar like that, where they had it stuck and then they fixed it. And Tom Holland's has had on multiple of those Spider-Mans like a tinier seam line, not as sightseeing as this, but they've kind of dialed it back, and it's gotten a lot better over time. So maybe it's just because it's a prototype, and then when the final comes, maybe it'll be, you know, further back behind the head sculpt, or I don't know.
So this is new to me because I've never actually seen one of these in person. I've never held one in hand, but I always assumed that the heads were just plastic. Is it the same material wrapped around the
suit?
plastic?
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
they pulled the fabric over it. And while we're coming in here, you know, this guy comes in here slicking his hair back because he wants to look like Tobey Maguire. What's up? We got Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles here. He heard me talking about this.
Trouble has arrived.
Right, you heard me talking about the seam line on the head. You're like, oh shit.
Trouble is here. I got my spoon out ready to stir the pot. Let's go.
I know, dude. I know you're waiting for the InArt segment.
Trouble.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mr. Trolley.
But yeah, Ryan, we're just kind of having an open discussion here about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man since we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. Yeah, what are your thoughts on it, dude? Since you're just hopping in here, we want to hear something from you. What are your thoughts?
It looks good. I mean, I know realistically, it's not like, I know people are saying like it's not accurate to Spider-Man 3 per se, but I like what they did with it. I mean, it's the Spider-Man 3. It's the No Way Home suit. They just painted black. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, if you do a comparison,
the web patterns are like the No Way Home patterns, not like quite straight like it is.
Yeah, and you know, not for nothing, I mean, for those who are like the accuracy people saying it's not, I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather have the Tom Hardy Venom on it anyway, because I like the look of Tom Hardy's Venom. So I mean, if that's what the deal we're going with, it's Tom Hardy's Venom. I mean, realistically, like, we shouldn't give Hot Toys a pass because like it's not like accurate, but in my opinion, it's like the greatest hits put together to make the best version. Because I was not personally a fan of this suit. Like, if I had to choose between this, if I had to get one black suit, it would be the one from the PS5 game, because that's more reminiscent to the
that suit's nasty, and it's got those foggy eye lenses there.
Yeah,
I did pre-order
got
that one. That one's incredible.
Look, so I had to choose. That's the one I'd go with. But I do like this a lot. It's kind of like, it's the better version. From Hot Toys' point of view, I'm like, so shouldn't give them a pass. But I mean, they're making the No Way Home suit. It's not that hard to probably just make it in black. And honestly, they dumped all the money probably into the sculpt, because the sculpt is like,
it's a banger.
It's banger, so it's definitely, they dumped. I forget who the artist is that did it. I follow the artist on Instagram, the one who did this sculpt.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff for Hot Toys
bangers
too.
Yeah, there's definitely some bangers that he did, like the track record. So it lives up to what it is. So yeah, I'm happy for it. I mean, it's a pricey piece. I'm like $400 probably. It's gonna be expensive as hell, but it's cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and it's good to see, you know, because all of this hidden talent, you know, they're all popping up in the third-party game, these sculptors, and it's good to see Hot Toys being like, well, why don't we hire some of these people? Let's just commission them on a commission basis. Yixi, thank you, Trevor. That's who we're talking about.
Yixi.
Yeah, guys, Yixi does some crazy stuff, man.
I think it was, unless he goes by Yixi as well, but Zhang Dine or something.
Trevor probably knows, dude.
On JC Hong.
JC Hong actually posted the person. It's not right here. I'm looking at it. Amazing head sculpt. It wasn't Yixi who did the head sculpt. It was the person who did the head sculpt did Kang. They did the Mark III, the new one. They did Casca Reeves. They did the Batman. They did Marty and Doc, and they did Val Kilmer Batman. So, I mean, that's a hell of a track record, except that Doc Brown.
Except the Doc Brown with the solid plastic hair. We don't talk about that. Real quick, guys, not to cut everybody off, Sean does have to step out unexpectedly. Sean, thank you so much for being here. Sorry we didn't make it to the InArt stuff by the time you headed out, but I hope you have a great night, and thank you so much for hanging out with us while you could.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, Ryan. Good night, brother.
Have a good one, man. I gotta talk to you soon. We have to catch up.
Thrawn.
Sean has out. Thrawn.
The Steelers Kramer. Anyways, everyone, have a good night. And again, I didn't say Thrawn wasn't coming. I said I'm concerned that they don't make it. I'm allowed to have a legitimate concern.
Half the time, we can't figure out what Hot Toys is doing when they're doing this.
I know. Hey, but Connor, I'm excited for your ASMR channel coming out.
That's not happening, guys. Just mute the stream until Sean's camera's off. Okay, just don't let him spread blasphemy on the way out. But Sean, once again, thank you so much for being here, dude, and I hope you have a great weekend.
All right, hey, you too. Goodbye, everyone.
All right, guys. But But yeah, great thoughts. And once again, guys, these sculptors that Hot Toys is hiring, I think it's definitely benefiting them in the long run because, you know, Hot Toys doesn't always do banger sculpts. You know, there's a lot of sculpts that get put out and then people are like, I don't know about that one. But I think lately their track record has been a lot better, and it makes sense. You know, they're commissioning some of this talent they've been doing custom sculpts. Some of them have been doing sculpts for third party for a long time. So it makes a lot of sense. And I think this is going to be a great release. I'm excited to see it go for pre-order. Definitely picking this one up. I'm sure most of us here are picking this one up if you're a fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I know a lot of people in the chat saying they're picking it up. But I don't want to spend too much time on it because, again, guys, I want to get through the stuff that we missed last week so we can get to the InArt stuff because I know a lot of people are itching to talk about that. I do have some information on some of the stuff that was announced at the end of last week. One of those things being this beautiful DX Artisan Scarlet Witch here. This is one that we did not get a chance to talk about. For those of you who are going for this one through Sideshow, I do have the pre-order information for you guys. I will have it running at the bottom of the screen here as we briefly share our thoughts on the figure. But the DX Artisan Scarlet Witch pre-order is going to go live October 5th. That's obviously this coming month at 12 p.m. EST. So if you guys do want to go for this figure, make sure you go and RSVP because they have been blocking people out from pre-ordering if you don't RSVP. Make sure you do that to give yourself the best chance possible. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute nightmare as it's very difficult to get these figures because everyone's going for them at the same time. So the queue system, may it forever be in your favor. Just a brief open discussion about this one, guys. I've shared my thoughts on the future of this DX Artisan line from Hot Toys. You guys know I really loved, and you know I know Ryan did too, that WB 100 Wonder Woman is really such a shining light for Hot Toys, of a step in the right direction when it comes to the rooted hair stuff. And so much so, you guys know I haven't been a fan of rooted hair for a long time. It's because my main experience was the stuff that Hot Toys gave us in the past. But getting that DX Artisan, that WB 100 Wonder Woman really gave me hope for this DX Artisan line. And I think this was a great choice from Hot Toys. It's definitely a very sought after character. A lot of people love this character. We got a standalone show for the Scarlet Witch with WandaVision. And this is one of the outfits that I think a lot of people were like, why the heck didn't they do an Endgame outfit? So I think Hot Toys kind of saw a redemption arc with this figure because, you know, they've done rooted hair Wandas in the past. It looked terrible. So this is where their redemption arc was. I saw some discussion, guys, and I don't know how you guys feel about the hair color. I personally think the hair color looks pretty good. It could have been a little bit darker towards the roots. But if you look at some photos, Elizabeth Olsen's hair really kind of changes color in certain lighting because of how like strawberry blonde, I guess you would call that it is. So I don't personally have an issue with the hair color. Like I said, if I'm nitpicking, it should have been a bit more darker at the roots to kind of give it that realism. But in terms of how it looks, I think it looks great. Now, I will say, when you look at photos of Elizabeth Olsen's hair, it's not quite that curled. It's more of like a relaxed curl that lays kind of flatter on her chest. So I think it's a little too curled in these photos. Of course, you can kind of pose it the way that you want. But overall, I think she looks good. I think the base is dope. I think the figure looks good. I'm going to be going for this one because I love this character and my girlfriend loves this character. So it gives me an excuse to buy it. But I think she looks awesome. I don't know about you guys. Again, feel free to jump in. People in the chat, what are your thoughts on the Scarlet Witch? Anybody on the panel, are you guys going for this one?
I'm probably passing, but I do think actually with the base with this one actually maybe makes this to me feel like the most premium of all the ones that we've had of the Artisan right now because it's got the rooted hair. It's got an outfit we haven't actually had yet. You know, I mean, there've been other Jokers and stuff and we've had other Anakins with similar costume. We haven't had this particular one from that movie. For whatever reason, they didn't put it out. Right. So it may have been something they had lying around or already prototyped somewhat years ago. But we have this outfit, which is relatively new. So at least it's something a little different for the character. And that base is that's like a real, like in the moment from the movie.
Beautiful base.
Amazing looking. Now, and Scarlet Witch, you know, has had some really good. That one from Multiverse of Madness, her last couple figures have had great bases. Now that one's a deluxe version. Had that one with the candles and stuff.
Right.
Obviously the head sculpt looks great. You don't have to worry like with Wonder Woman seeing like because of the outfit like the arm hands or anything like that because it's a full body outfit. So some of those things that could annoy you a little bit just because of the way that their figures, You're not going to have this with this. So this one feels like, just with everything, like it's taking what they did for the first couple and giving you now what probably she should be like, kind of what the quote standard is for these characters. Really amazing, somewhat amazing base you don't get, not a sand base with 2 feet on it.
Right.
That we get a lot. It needs to have a really interesting base, maybe a different type of outfit or something with it, the rooted hair, and really good head sculpt. So I just, with her price point, I already have my favorite Wanda, which is the WandaVision one, because I want her in the actual, like, more comic-esque Scarlet Witch costume. That's what I want, because I read her first, the comics and stuff.
Yeah.
But for a movie version, there's enough different with it. You've got the rooted hair and you've got a mega base you're not going to get with another version of it. So there's enough uniqueness to it, even though there have been other figures of this character already,
Right.
So I think that's what makes it great.
Yeah. And another point to add, and then we'll jump to you, Mike. The best thing about this one, guys, to me at least, is there's also a DX regular sculpted hair version for those of you guys that don't like rooted hair, or if you miss out on this one, Hot Toys gave us options. That, to me, is the best way to even the playing field. Sorry you missed out on the Artisan version, but there is still a consolation prize, and a very good looking consolation prize, might I add, not to down the sculpted version. I think it looks fantastic. But you also get an option to get a sculpted version.
One, though.
You said what?
I think the hair looks a little weird on the sculpted version a little bit. I don't know. It's something that felt a little off.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I think it looks great, but teach their own. Mike, I think you had a point to make. Did you have something you wanted to say?
I actually didn't.
For some reason, I thought you had something to say. Okay.
No, I think she looks good, and I think the body they chose looks great. Nothing against rooted hair, but I do think in this case, just on the pictures, I think the sculpted does look better to me right now. But
and I think some people will be with you on that. Some people have different preferences. Again, me, the longest time, I preferred sculpted and didn't even want to look at rooted hair. Now I'm kind of starting to change my opinion on things. So.
Yeah. Oh, I'm curious about it too. Like, I'm not against it or anything. I just I think they did a great job with the sculpted, but I'm curious to see how the sales go for this one. Not the sales, but everybody trying to get it.
Right. How sought after it becomes, how quick it sells out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the accessory pieces look like really realistic, really well done. I like the color.
Right. Yeah. That base is something else, man. It looks really good. I'm definitely a huge fan of that. But yeah, would anyone else like to share their thoughts on the DX Artisan Wanda before we move on?
Only thing I'll say from this perspective, as a person who doesn't have a Scarlet Witch yet or anything, I was gonna do WandaVision. Then Mom came out, so then I was like, all right, that's the definitive one I'm gonna get. This, because I hadn't picked it up yet, because I'm still waiting for it to fully come out. I was like, oh snap, this gives me another chance, but this was actually the Scarlet Witch that I had wanted.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're doing this, the only thing with me is now I'm like, okay, I eventually want to step into their Artisan line, but do I want to pay it enough? Do I like Scarlet Witch enough to make her my first DX Artisan? And I'm not sure on there. I like the way it looks, and I think I was involved in the hype, and I just may end up going with the sculpted instead. So
that's fair.
Probably what I'll do.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, again, the best thing about it is there's options, and that's always the best for collectors, in my opinion.
Do you have a picture of the backside, like the back of her head? I know it sounds a weird question.
I don't know if they actually took a picture of the back of her head. That's a good question.
The back of her head is ridiculous.
Because the hair is, right there. The reason why I say that, because the hair is the WB 100 hair from Wonder Woman.
Well, that's what I was saying. It looks a little too curly.
You could tell it's her hair. They just dyed it red, so it's not exactly like a specific hairstyle to Scarlet Witch. It's definitely the Wonder Woman hair. You could tell how the curls are, the way that I mean, if you look at her hair, the figure, it's like they did it every other one. They curled and they weaved it under. So I can definitely tell that it's like the Wonder Woman hair. So I don't personally think that they're there enough. The Artisan line is developing. I do think that I'll be very upfront. I secured mine today. Actually, I got one through somebody else. So I'm not fighting the whole sideshow. I mean, I'll still go on sideshow and try to get one. I'll use that quote unquote getting one for somebody, but I've struck out every single time on Sideshow that I'm just getting it after, like, I got it. Although I already have it locked in, put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm committed that I pretty much want every Artisan figure. Like, I kind of think that's a cool thing in my display, because right now I'm 3 for 3. I got all the Artisan figures like on order, so to speak. So I kind of like that idea of like, I like that evolution of getting those figures. I like the hair color. I that's just me. I don't think the biggest fail, which I know it's going to be a fail already, is that this is basically like a female Anakin where the outfit should be all leather, and it's not going to be. I know they didn't define what it is, but it's not going to be leather. It's going to be either pleather or like some kind of hybrid in between. But for the price of what it is, it should be a leather red jacket. It really should be. I mean, it's the same thing with Anakin. Like with 1/6 shooter says, the hairstyling, it's not to InArt's level. I almost feel like with every figure, it progressively gets better. And Connor, I think you can agree. Like when I did my review for the Wonder Woman, that's why I think there was a reason why the Wonder Woman wasn't considered an Artisan figure. It was kind of like their trial run to get into it. Because when I see the Joker and I see Anakin, I do already see an advancement in that hair.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even as good as Wonder Woman is,
she has room to improve big time. Like they made you like a greatest hits Wonder Woman, and it was what it was, but it could still improve. And the
just a side note, what I wanted to say to add on what you were saying, I almost felt like I got like a good copy, and then I saw some other ones that didn't look as good as mine.
Oh no, I'll be very upfront. I mean, it's not derogatory, but like I'm gonna say it. Justin's looked awful. Like I'll say it. If you look at Justin's review, and I'm not calling, like I'm not trying to be that person. I did see some
others that didn't look as good.
But there was a lot. Yeah, like I got a good one and you got a good one.
Yeah,
because ours came out mint out of the box. But there's some people that did reviews where the hair looked all wonky and stuff, and it was like, whoa. And but her hair looks like the WB 100. It's almost like I think they got the male hair kind of locked down with the Joker and the Anakin. Like they're doing a good job, but I think they need to perfect the female now hair. And this looks like the WB 100. The only difference is she has like 2 locks on both sides of her hair's shoulders, so you could style it kind of different ways. But the hair is pretty much the same. It's the same as the Wonder Woman hair.
I mean, I'm like, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say messy and dirty is probably always easier to do than long and beautiful.
Of course, like look at Anakin and the Joker, dude. Like their hair is very loose. It's
the one thing about this also, which I kind of like compared to the Wonder Woman, is that you could see the hairline, and it does look rough. If you look up really close at the Wonder Woman, like the rooting, like her actual hairline, it does look a little rough. Like you can kind of see like a harsh, like how they did it. But the way that this is styled, it looks like it covers all that. So that's, and also the way her hair is parted in the center. So I mean, it looks better. It'll probably look better visually, but it definitely looks. It looks like red Wonder Woman hair. They just kind of styled it.
I'm and teach their own. I'm not quite where you are with this one, Ryan. I think I'm like more so where Trevor's saying, where it's like I think there's a good base there. Again, when I looked at photos, I'm like that her hair isn't like super curly like that. It's like it's got
wavy.
some like loose curls,
it's wavy.
And it's got some waves in it, and then it sits flat on her chest. But yeah, I think it. And guys, we're gonna move on, but it certainly is a great looking figure to me. Is it perfect? No. Are they going to focus as much on the root of hair as InArt in terms of perfecting the styling out of the box? Who knows?
Hey, Connor, two quick things.
Sure.
The eyes are awesome. I would love to see that in person. How if you angle light at them in a certain way, get that red color. That's going to be really cool to see. And then the other thing I want to say is, Ryan, I can't wait to see your collection in a few years because we're averaging 1 Artisan announcement a month.
Huh?
So that's going to be pretty sick if they keep that pace up.
Yeah, I thought about having like a line of just all the Artisans together on one shelf. Like I'm not even kind of thought, but
for sure. Trevor says that hair will be likely more relaxed by the time it gets. Yeah, that's possible too. And again, this is just a prototype. As with everything, regardless of the company, prototypes are subject to change.
Connor, is your Wonder Woman hair like still exactly the way it is?
Exactly how it came out.
Like mine's been over 30. How long have you had? I mean, I've had mine for like a month and a half.
But we've both had them for, I guess, almost 2 months now.
Dude, the hair on hers is like legit the way it was in the video. Like it hasn't even, like I'm looking at it, like it hasn't even moved.
Which is, Ryan, why I have become intrigued by rooted hair, because it's exactly what I've come to know. It's exact opposite of what I've complained about. The previous Hot Toys rooted hair, you leave it it gets a little humid or something, and you come back and she looks like she got ran over by a truck. And it's like, that's why I didn't want the rooted hair stuff. And this is just a completely different ball game. And, you know, Trevor tried to tell me, dude, you know, Trevor, you tried to tell me, man. And I was just like, I don't know. And this is what it took.
I'll also wonder if they put, I mean, then we can move on, but I wonder if they're going to put some stuff in the scalp to keep it kind of the way it was. Like
probably some sort of product, you know, InArt uses something similar, you know, to keep the hair in a certain position. But yeah, for sure. Guys, it's really exciting. Again, I'm about to pull it off the screen. DX Artisan Scarlet Witch goes live October 5th at 12 p.m. EST. Mark your calendars, set an alarm, be prepared, make sure you RSVP while being signed into your account. So we're going to move on, guys. This one, before you huff and puff, it's going to be very brief, just to give you guys some information and share some brief thoughts. I know a lot of people are like, oh, what is this crap? Get it off my screen. Just to let those who want this know, and by the way, guys, I do want this one. I know Lane likes this one. I like this figure, you know. Say what you want. I like this figure. I think it's cool. I think this is what they should have done from the get-go with this comic origin line. Love it. If you are interested in getting this one goes live on Sideshow October 4th at 12 p.m. EST. So the day prior is when this one goes live. Again, we're going to be very brief on this one. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to get into the InArt stuff because we've been going an hour and a half, and I think we're ready.
What we can talk InArt now? We're allowed to talk InArt? We're InArt fans? We're InArt
about fans? Brian, I've been here the whole time, bro. I've had my InArt Joker sitting in their box waiting for my replacement part from the shop I bought it from for 3 months now. I'm not going to say who. Not working out great, Ryan. But Trevor says, I kept telling people rooted hair done correctly will not move unless you mess with it too much. You did tell me, Trevor. Like I said, you know, I'm ready to admit defeat on the rooted hair thing. You know, you told me, you did tell me, and I just told you I was skeptical, and it took me just taking the dive and getting that Wonder Woman, and here we are. And Trevor, you'll be proud of me, dude. I actually just upgraded my sculpted hair Bruce Wayne from InArt to the rooted hair version because, you know, I saw the sculpted hair and I wasn't impressed by it. I didn't like how it looked, and, you know, my curiosity with the rooted hair got the best of me, so I did upgrade to the rooted hair version. Trevor says, I like this Iron Man. I won't be getting it, but it looks great. Agreed. I think it looks awesome. I want it. If I miss out on it, I won't lose sleep over it. But I did want to let you guys know before we move on, this has been officially released already. So it was one of those figures. It was announced and it's been released already. So
yeah, and you already touched on it, and I kind of wanted to touch that with that other one that they did, and it had the clear panels on it. Like you said, they should have done this from the jump. And
yeah,
I know there were a lot of people who are comic bookies or even grew up on this who were really, this is what they were expecting and are super hyped about this. So
yeah,
congratulations to all those people.
For sure.
Hopefully you get it.
For sure. But yeah, guys, again, if you're going for this, before I take it off the screen and we move on, sorry for those who want to talk about it, but I really want to move on to InArt stuff because there's a lot I want to talk about. October 4th, Sideshow pre-order, 12 p.m. EST. Mark your calendars. Make sure you're RSVP'd on the website. With that being said, guys, it is now time to move on to the InArt stuff. We didn't get a chance to talk about Superman yet, so of course we're going to start with the Cavill Superman because there's a lot to talk about with this one. Guys, I just want to start by saying I'm so happy that most of our concerns originally with this figure were listened to. They were addressed. Things have been changed. And I could say with 100% certainty, looking at this prototype, I'm very, very happy with what I see here. Our original concerns, you know, the suit color, it looked too light in the photos. We have our dark colored suit here. The Superman S wasn't the proper size. It's been adjusted. The head sculpt, guy, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Looking at the head sculpt, I feel like they just took better photos. Everybody's like, oh, they really fixed the head sculpt. I think it's the same head sculpt. It's just they took better photos, better lighting. It doesn't look to me like they've changed anything. You know, and maybe I didn't spend enough time on it, but I looked at it for like a solid 15 minutes. I'm like, I just think, you know, maybe they just painted it differently. It's either they took better photos, they painted it differently. I don't know. It looks like the same head sculpt to me, but it does look better in these photos. I see Henry Cavill here, and I'm happy to say I think this is probably the best Henry Cavill head sculpt yet. And I didn't think I would be saying that about this figure, but I really do like this head sculpt. And with that being said, guys, I still don't think that the Hot Toys Justice League Superman sculpt is bad. Jimmy, again, I spent probably about 15 minutes looking at it. Me personally looking at it, I'm like, I don't see that it's a different sculpt.
I mean,
It's different to me
it is.
too.
It is.
Yeah, I
They
see it.
made changes to it. More specific.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it longer.
The mouth.
It's
and
like the mouth and the jaw, I would say.
Jimmy says it's different sculpt. Okay. So I stand corrected, guys. Once again, I only spent about 15 minutes looking at it. I didn't look at it that long, so I'm happy to be wrong on that because I didn't look at it that long. But that's why I wanted to preface that with saying when I looked at it, I didn't see something different. But either way, I think it looks fantastic. I do think that looking at it now, I think, okay, Daniel said they said so themselves. Okay. But with that being said, guys, looking at it, I do think this is the best Cavill sculpt yet. And the fact that they've not only included a drape cape, but we get a wired cape as well is pretty fantastic. I mean, with this announcement, you know, we kind of had our expectations of things that it would include. And for me, you know, I told you guys I really wanted that kryptonite spear so that I could put it with my armored Batman from Hot Toys. The fact that we got the hands holding the cow, that is incredible, by the way. That's easily my favorite accessory. The hand gripping the cow, like that's badass, dude. Like they really checked all the boxes with this one. The proportions look great. I will say, I hate to say it, I love my Justice League Hot Toys Cavill, but this one looks more like accurate to Cavill's proportions. When you look at the Hot Toys one, he has that really wide back, you know, the really wide back that it does look like a comic book Superman, but it's a little too wide for the proportions of a human in the context of Henry Cavill and his build. So I really do think they did such a great job. And not only that, you guys know with the Justice League Superman, they did improve it with the black suit, but with the original Justice League Superman, the arms don't get close to the sides at all. It looks very strange. They kind of have to be bloused out. And InArt got that right too. The arms are very close to the body. So
Connor, I sent you a photo, by the way, before I
I'll pull it up because again, guys, I what I was saying was not factual. I was just saying what I saw, just looking at it for like 15 minutes. I didn't see the difference, but I guess I didn't spend too much time on it.
No, 15 minutes is not. You need to stare at it for 3 hours or more.
Well, no, you have to be like Jimmy. Jimmy,
No,
I know you've
clear.
looked at it for months. I know you've looked at it for months. Trust me.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I'm very, very happy with how this looks. And no surprise to us, this angry laser eye sculpt is an absolute banger. This was the one that most of us were excited for from the jump, right? Because this one looks good from the get-go. And I think it looks great here. I do like the inclusion, though it's kind of weird to me to have like just that rooted hair tuft in the front. I'm still very happy they included it to get that signature curl in the front. I think it's really cool. It looks really good, man. I really can't say much else about it. I think it looks awesome. Now, my main concern with this, guys, and, you know, I think Ryan has the same concern in me, and Chris actually disagree with me on this one. We were talking about it. I don't know if it was this morning or the day before, but I'm not a huge fan of the flight pole idea. I don't think it's the best solution.
Nope.
And, you know, InArt did comment and say, like, you know, I think they commented on Ryan's comment. Actually.
Yeah, they did. They commented on
right. And I saw the comment and I'm like, that doesn't really address what we're talking about. What I'm worried about, guys, you know, and first and foremost, let's be real. A lot of these companies, I don't know if they really care that much about longevity because that, you know, once they sell it, it's sold. It looks great when it's sold. And do they really care that much about longevity? I don't know. And you know, I know InArt, at least more than Hot Toys, has been willing to use higher quality materials. But I don't like that mechanism where the zipper wraps around the pole. I don't like that idea. And the reason I don't like that is who knows over time, if you keep it like that, is it going to stretch out the suit in the back? Or is the zipper going to break? You know, 6-scale zippers typically, at least, are very brittle. I don't know if I like that idea, you know, and a lot of people have brought up, well, you know, that third party, the black suit Superman third party has that magnetic setup. And I almost feel like if InArt put the proper magnets in there, that could be a really cool idea. But the other thing that I did say to Chris, and I'll stop talking, I'll let you guys talk. The other thing I did say to Chris is I do understand also, once we're talking about like a flight pose, like, you know, like when he had the kryptonite spear and he's flying at Doomsday, then the magnets do get a little scary unless they use something really strong. So I do understand, like, they're in an interesting spot where they want to do something innovative, but they want to make sure it holds the figure. So I get both sides of the argument. That's really my only issue with this figure is I want to see something a little bit different for the flight pole. But I say that when saying I'm still appreciative that they didn't do the BS that Hot Toys have been doing for years with that flight grabber, because that would have been worst case scenario. This is still definitely something much better. It is innovative, but I don't know if it's what I personally would have done. That's all I have to say about it. Big Dog Pound, it clicks into the back of his back. I don't know, guys. You know if this? I don't know if there's a photo of it in this lineup of photos.
Do you want a photo of the sculpt of the? Do you want a photo of it?
If you have a photo on hand, I definitely want to
got
pull that up so you guys can see what we're talking about. But
got
anyone
you.
else who wants to jump in while Ryan's putting up that photo to share your thoughts on the InArt Cavill Superman here.
The only thing I'll say is, like, I mean, with that flight pole, even as it stands now, I don't even see you doing that pose anyway. Even if they changed it with the magnets, I don't think it looks like it's posable for you to even do that pose in the first place. So probably wouldn't even matter at the end of the day. As somebody who has the Hot Toys one, I'm honestly gonna say I do think it looks a lot better than what Hot Toys did. Not taking anything away from Hot Toys though, because I still love that figure at the end of the day. The sculpt is great. The Vision sculpt is great. There's a few things that kind of bug me, and I think it was either Evil Sneaker himself or Jedi. I was Jedi Knights watch Graham. I was watching them last night, and one of them pointed out, I guess it's the elbows and the arms. It kind of looks like that suit sinks into where the joint is. If they could put like a fabric or something there, like to make it look like it's his actual, arm, maybe, but that's like super nitpicking.
I was about to say
it
that's
at that
very
point.
difficult to avoid as well.
But I mean, it doesn't look as bad as it does on Hot Toys, like any of their joints. Like it's super noticeable, and now I can't unsee it because it was pointed out.
What happens with Spider-Man figures as well? The same thing. Like those suits all pinch in the corner with the Hot Toy Spider-Man figures.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like
man.
that. Like him just standing there, his biceps are so
Spider-Man.
big, and then they just get just instantly get small into the. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a little thing for me. Like I said, it's not even that big of a deal. They did fix the chest logo. They did fix the colors. The cape, I like that you get two different versions. You get the wired and the flowing one. It's not the same material, but then again, we are talking 1/6 scale, and you can only go and do so much. So I think the cape looks great. And then there should be a slight curve in the neck where the cape goes, but I'm not nitpicking that either. And so at the end of the day, I'm literally giving this guy like a solid 9 out of 10 for me at least.
yeah. I mean, like I said, dude. I mean, for me, when I had some expectations for this one, with all the changes they've made, again, it really checks all the boxes for me. And I know you may not be picking this one up, but I know you were really excited for it too, like I was. Oh, and thank you, Big Dog Pound, for reminding me. So, guys, I did want to pull this up on the screen. I completely forgot. I do have a code for 1/6 kit for those of you guys who have not pre-ordered this yet. Now, just to let you know, this is not included in the original Hot Toys Hotline code, so you can still use this if you've already used that code. So if you want to use it, it's code HTH Soups. It'll give you $10 off through 1/6 kit to pre-order this guy. So it does only last until through October 27th. Plenty of time. But who knows with this one, if it's going to sell out early, we don't know. That's the never-ending mystery with 6 scale stuff right now. But I'll keep this up on the screen for those of you guys who have not pre-ordered it yet.
But
I do
strongly considering replacing my Hot Toys one with this guy.
I certainly would, because Chris, I told you in the past, I never thought that the Hot Toys BVS Superman looked that good. I was always like a big fan of the Justice League one.
Mm-hmm.
And that one just looks very outdated,
the dark suit too. But I mean, the only thing I will say is with the Hot Toys one, I like the light up kryptonite. I don't know if that does it. Now, again, I don't care because I don't even light it that often. It's just one of those cool factors. You can do it. Lights up, right? Looks pretty cool. You can show somebody who's in your collection, whatever, so be it. Put that aside. I have always wanted a Vision sculpt, and the fact that this one, in my opinion, blows the Hot Toys Vision sculpt out of the water, kind of selling it for me. And having, this was super genius of InArt for them to have a wired cape and then a drape cape, to include both, because so many times I've looked at mine and I've been like, I wish I could pose it, but then there are other times where I just want it to hang. And now this
Yeah.
is kind of like getting the best of both worlds.
Chris, I think, and we've talked about pricing a lot in the past for InArt. I think this one fell at the very appropriate price point. You know, this one is $400. That's before any
And you get
discounts.
more.
You get 2 head sculpts, you get 2 capes, you get all of those accessories.
Yep.
You
And
know,
the
for the
base,
Kryptonite
just
Spear alone from Hot Toys, if you buy that in the aftermarket, it's like $85. So it's
Mhm.
like for $400, I think this is probably one of the fairer price items considering what you get. You got, I mean, Ryan knows firsthand, especially like you buy third-party custom capes. How much do they cost you? $85 to $100. Like they're expensive, dude. So to get 2 capes, 2 head sculpts, Kryptonite Spear, you get the log of Kryptonite. I mean, there's a lot here for the money. I really do think that. And you know, it's kind of good at the same time that we didn't get full rooted hair on this one because it kind of kept that price point in a fair range. And I don't want to lose track of the photo here because I did want to bring this up. This is what I mentioned earlier, guys. Again, is this terrible to me? No, it is innovative. It's much better than that stupid ass grabber that Hot Toys has been using for a long time. Yeah. We've been very outspoken, all of us as collectors, about the sand footprint bases, the grabbers that destroy figures. This is definitely a much safer scenario. Again, I just really like that magnet idea. I'm just stuck on that magnet idea. I think it's just the best way to do it. Would I be like up in arms if this didn't get changed? No. But I do prefer the magnet idea just in the concept of it because you don't have to unzip anything. You don't have to keep that zipper. Because again, like look at it. There's a lump from the connector there. And I worry that it's going to stretch out the suit a little bit. That's what I worry about.
With a magnet in the material, here's the other thing. You can still damage the suit with a magnet by repeatedly putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. It gets like that matte. It could turn flat. Like you could do just as much damage doing that than...
Right, but I feel like if you don't remove it and you just put it and set it and forget it or pose it every once in a while on the same token, yeah, but you're still my concern is leaving the zipper hugged around it. I'm concerned about it loosening up the suit over time. That's my main concern. Again, I don't hate the design. I just think I like the magnet idea more, especially
they could
because
put like a flat panel, maybe make it smaller and have like a bigger.
Right. I mean, you know, there's a lot that goes into engineering something like this. This is my only concern with this figure because as of right now, this is a near perfect figure for me. I can't believe I'm saying it because I was very skeptical about the prototype, but I really think they came out with this one. Daniel says, I like seeing people come around to InArt nowadays. It makes sense. It was the character figure that did it. You know, Daniel, for me personally, and Daniel, I know you and our boy Jimmy, you guys are big fans of InArt, and if I don't know how long you guys have been watching the channel, I've never been against InArt. And you know, I'm on record, many streams, I've never been against InArt. I own the InArt Joker sculpted 2-pack. I've pre-ordered the Harry Potter. I've got the Bruce Wayne on pre-orders. I've never been against InArt. But I am now getting even more excited about InArt, especially with that photo that went out today. And I always say, and a lot of people in the chat, I'm sure could agree with this, and people in the panel, you know, the more options, the better. And I do like that InArt is going back and correcting old mistakes or bringing figures that need to be refreshed back to light. And that's what they're doing with this BVS Superman. Yes, it's been done before. The Hot Toys one is way outdated, just like the Joker was way outdated. That DX11 Joker was way outdated, just like the Christopher Reeve Superman. Beautiful figure for its time, way outdated. So this is really exciting to me. I'm definitely a big fan of what InArt's doing lately, and being that, sadly, when it comes to DC, all of our heroes have been recast for the most part. This is just like a breath of fresh air to see another Cavill Superman figure coming out, you know? So it's very easy to be excited about this one if you're a DC fan, specifically a Superman fan. And guys, here's the photo that Ryan sent, because again, my opinion, when we first started talking about this was not fact. I just said when I looked at it, I only spent about 15 minutes and I couldn't see the differences. Looking at it here, it may just be the angle. The hair looks a little bit better. Again, the paint job almost looks like it has more life too. I think the original sculpt that we saw had a lot of like lifelessness to it. It was too pale. But But again, looking at this
They
sculpt, man,
lifted
it's
the
a
eyes a
banger.
little bit, look like the eyebrows. I
And,
mean.
yeah, and again, looking at it now, I could see the eyebrow
The
shape
mouth
is also
the
slightly
the shape
different.
of the mouth is different to the bottom lip. I mean, there's
Yeah.
subtle differences. You don't need to overhaul it. Subtle changes. A lot of subtle changes lift the whole sculpt in
Right, and we
general.
see
You
Hot
don't have
Toys
to-
doing that lately as well. It's just very subtle. I mean, not with Doc Ock.
I'm looking back at the Hot Toys one, and I always thought it was Cavill. Like, it still looks good, but then when I see this, I'm just like, I'm starting to wonder who that guy is.
No, I mean, Chris, I went back and looked at my Hot Toys
and that
Justice League.
sucks,
I don't
'cause
think
I
that
love-
sculpt's bad. I still look at it and I'm like, that's Cavill,
Yeah.
but this is
yeah,
more
but
Cavill.
you got Justice League. I got BVS.
Well, yeah, looking at the
you know,
BVS one,
further
that one
back.
probably looks like dirt now compared to this one. You know, it's
Yeah,
such an
like,
old figure.
And Henry Cavill, like, that's my soup. So if I'm gonna get a definitive one, you got to go big or go home.
Yeah. Daniel says the sculpt is perfect. This doesn't need any more updates. Yeah, I would agree. I think the sculpt's right where it needs to be. The costume design does. I'm curious, Daniel, what you would like to see updated on the costume design, because I know you get like real into the accuracy on stuff, whereas I'm
Probably
like,
what I
I think it looks pretty good. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what you would like to see updated, because I know there's like very subtle things here and there. And, you know, with InArt, we've come to expect like really extreme accuracy because that's what they focus on. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it. Let me jump back to the main photos though, because there's one photo in particular. Oh, you've made a post. Okay. I don't go in the groups as often as I should. So I didn't see your post, but I'll have to check it out. Really quickly though, guys, I want to show you a photo that made me really happy. And it's funny because I told Ryan when we first saw the teaser of this, I'm like, dude, I really want to, now that I have my Hot Toys armored Batman, this is one of my favorite scenes. You know, this is when Batman was like, yeah, I'm that dude.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Chris gets so butthurt every time I tell him that Batman beats Superman fair and square. We've had this conversation a million times, but
we got too much to talk about to get into all that. So you do.
Yeah,
Pal.
but I really was excited to see this photo because I told Ryan, like, my idea was like, dude, I want to have Superman gripping the smoke bomb and then use like an LED inside of some cotton or something painted green to make it look like the kryptonite mist was going in his face.
That'd
and then
be sick.
Right, dude, I always have to get a soundboard of Batman telling him to breathe it in, you know, like, dude, I just love that scene. Again, like, you know, Chris and I have had this debate, Batman versus Superman, so many times, but you know, Batman really showed him like, yeah, this is my city. You better back off, bro. Like, I got something for you. But yeah, again, like, dude, like, this was a great choice for the version of Cavill to do because it needed to be done again. And it's such an important film for a lot of us. I know it got a lot of hate when it first came out, but a lot of people I feel like have come around to this film over the years. And yeah, it's solid, man. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah. The Ultimate Edition or whatever it's called really helps flesh out the story better.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing I want to say about this. I wonder how, I'm sure it's not going to be a 1-to-1. You're going to have to play with it, but I wonder how swappable this head will be on the Hot Toys body. You know, because I have the black suit from the Nightmare 2-pack. I don't have a blue suit Superman, so this would be a great addition. But like whichever head sculpt I don't use, I wonder if I could try to fit that on the black suit Hot Toys just to see how that would turn out as a little update. But the other thing I want to say is I really hope that cowl, like him holding the cowl, I mean, I think we can all assume that the Batman's coming out. It'd be cool if there's two head sculpts in that and we get kind of the tousled hair Affleck sculpt so that you can kind of create that scene, you know? I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've seen a lot of people say they want InArt to do an armored Batman. I want the suit that he was wearing when he kicked the absolute shit out of the dudes in the warehouse saving Martha. That's what I want. That's what I want. Because Hot Toys messed that suit up. Yes. The main suit, they messed it up. The material's garbage. Yeah. So why would we the armored Batman is actually pretty good from Hot Toys. Like, I feel like, you know, we got 3 versions of that figure from Hot Toys. We got the battle damage, the black chrome, and the regular. I want to see InArt do a proper BVS main suit.
I agree.
You know, base it on the warehouse scene and call it a day. I'd be super pumped if they did that. I get the armored Batman because that goes head to head with this Superman here, and that's what he was wearing when he fought him. But I just want a proper suit that's not going to fall apart, because that's why I haven't bought the BVS Batman or any versions of him in his main suit, because I don't want it to fall apart on me, you know?
And that is the best suit, in my opinion, that Affleck wore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The cowl, everything about the
It's
colors of the
perfect.
suit, everything. It's so
Yep.
good. And you could still make it work, dude. I mean, and you know, InArt's probably going to give us, if they do the BVS main suit, they're going to give us a cowl, and they're going to give us a head sculpt.
Mhm.
How badass would it be to have him in that suit with the head sculpt and Superman holding the cowl in his hand? Like, dude.
Yeah.
And
Well, it
not
would
only
have to be the
that,
nightmare. It would have to be the nightmare
Exactly,
version, which
dude.
would be incredible.
Dude, and that's the other thing. Like, you could replicate that nightmare scene in a way where, you know, he floats in, and I did, and take this with a grain of salt. Someone asked InArt if they would do the black suit, and they said, "Stay tuned." So
Mhm.
imagine they come in and do a black suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
possibilities are endless, dude. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Daniel, they may not have interest in that at all because it is based off the stunt actor. So yeah, they may just go straight. But that's what we want. Do we want that BVS main suit, dude? That would be so badass, man. And again, done properly with the right materials, it's just, you know, hitting the nail on the head. That's what I want, man.
It's just that the black suit though is Justice League. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not so.
And
We'll
they, I mean,
see.
they could dive into the black suit though. You never know.
Yeah,
I mean,
That was
because-
another thing. This thing needs more of that silver, like Hot Toys does, under the
silver
skin.
underbody.
Yeah,
I thought, I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that was
It's
more
there, but
present
it's
in the
not- and
Justice
that-
League
and-
version. Like, it was shinier in the Justice League suit.
It was, but yeah,
It
I see
was,
what,
but it
I
was
see what Chris
still-
means.
yeah.
Bro, I mean, is
And that
that
might
not
just
one
be
of
the
the
material
coolest
that the-
accessories?
It's great.
So cool, man. Save Martha. All the photos of Martha,
Those
dude.
those are the weirdest.
I feel like
accessories
they
think
just,
I've
I
ever
know,
so
they
weird,
just
but it's so
freaking
cool.
put those in there to throw just because they had nothing.
Well,
else.
they do that. InArt loves their paper products, dude. We saw that with
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise. They gave us like a whole stack of paper, but I mean, usually I'm like, that stuff's garbage, but not
And
this. I think this is
Batman,
cool.
Look at all the Riddler stuff.
I mean, that's a little bit more acceptable because that was a main plot
I
point
mean,
with the
Harry
with the
Potter
Riddler letters.
too.
Harry Potter
do
with the
love the
letters.
paper.
The
But
Gandalf
those made
book
more
is
sense.
Amazing.
Right,
Yeah, I get
exactly.
it.
If those made more sense, the Pennywise, I'm like, I don't need this crap. But the Harry Potter makes sense to me, and so does the Batman, because that's like a huge plot point, right? Because the Riddler is constantly dropping him those cards, so that makes sense to me. Yeah, why did you say that name, dude? It's just such. I love that scene, dude. Love that scene, so good. But yeah, Ryan, did you have any additional thoughts? You've been awfully quiet about Superman. Do you have anything to say about this Superman before we?
Well, I've been letting you all. Been letting you.
I know we're drooling over it, dude. We're drooling over it.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, damn. Like I guess I'm the odd man out over here that doesn't like this thing as usual. So it's like you guys are all drooling at the bits on this thing, and I'm over here just listening to you all just fangirl.
You don't like it?
Huh? What?
I just haven't
I'm
said anything
asking
because I
you-
know I'm not going to pick.
What don't you like about it, Ryan?
I pre-ordered it already.
Yeah, you know, that's
I have major concerns. I don't think that this is perfect. I did pre-order it, and you know, to clear the air, I never doubted it took how many figures for it to, you know, for one to finally get pre-ordered. I know I told you the Harry Potter one, but I actually held off on that because then when I saw this, I was like, took 13 figures. How many figures they have open right now? 13, 14? Not counting.
I couldn't tell you the number off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm sure it's something. I mean, it's double digits. Let's just put it that way. I was just waiting for the right one to really get my attention, and this is the first, you know, figure. And I think that's the key. Where I always, you know, I don't agree with certain things about InArt. Where, and I'm going to be very upfront. You hate me. I know there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon about this. I've been reserved about it because I don't own their products, so I speak how I feel, whether you agree with it or not. I'm not fanboying over it because, like I said, I want to get a taste of the experience. I do. I want to get I've been saying that, like, hey, I want a InArt figure. I want to unbox it. I want to see what this is about. You know, like I want the experience. But I wasn't just going to dive into a figure for the hell of it, like a Gandalf or anything like that. It had to be something that, like, oh, you have my attention. This has my attention. You know, this is like Harry Potter. I really liked Harry Potter, but I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of young Harry Potter. I like him when he was an adult. This one here, though, I was like, all right, you have my attention. I see what you did here. In my head, the same thing with Hot Toys. I own 2 Hot Toys. I own the Justice League and I own the Nightmare, and I never thought they were good figures. I thought the proportions were very out of, like, he just looked really all over the place.
Right, he looks like kind of cartoony in a way when
He
you look
looked
back
very
at it now.
he looks like a caricature in a
His
way.
legs, especially.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
legs or thighs are like he just trained legs for 4 days straight. That's all he did. You know, so it just didn't. It was it was good for what it was until you see something better, in my opinion. And I'm not saying like this is what Hot Toys should have gave us, but like Henry Cavill, he deserved the 3.0 properly done, and like so I'm glad that we're seeing this. And it's like it's kind of sucks because like we're not going to see him anymore. Like, you know, we got the tease in Black Adam, and then it's like, oh, we could have got, this is the figure that we really should we should have this. And I've been one saying that I want InArt to expand and make stuff that we haven't seen before. I know some people argue about that, like, oh, we've seen Superman, we've seen the Joker, you know, we've seen the Batman. Well, you know, we're gonna have the Batman debate. InArt has to make some stuff that's refreshed to bring people in like us, and then they can dabble and make new stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's people out there with like a Christopher Reeve Superman that's like, oh, we've seen that already. But they got to balance and bring in people that want that stuff, and then also make new things. Like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, man, I mean, you're getting some great stuff there. But then I've heard people say Atlas is doing it, but they're not doing it as good. So as a company, they got to balance. So I know I've always come off as someone that's maybe been hating on InArt, but I've never doubted their quality of product. It's just that I've been waiting for the right one to get my attention. And this is the one that got my attention, you know? And that being said, I've studied this from start to finish in terms of the whole process of like seeing the teases, okay, going up for pre-order. I was skeptical of InArt even up to the day before. I was like, yo, are we going to get more than a photo? Because up to the day before, we got a photo and a release date. That's all we had. And then, yeah, okay, they gave, I thought it was also sneaky of them. I didn't appreciate it. I'm going to be real. The two things that bother the shit out of me about this figure, I'm going to say it, I'm sorry, is the flight pole. I think it's a cop-out. I don't like the way they've done it. Honestly, I said it to Nate. It feels like something Hot Toys would do. It looks very cheap to me. I'm not a fan of just unzipping it and sticking a rod in its back. I'm sorry.
And like I said, I'm right there with you. It's not ideal to me.
Yeah, no, it feels like something Hot Toys would do, and that's a shot at Hot Toys, honestly. It feels like something that they would have done, you know, whatever. I don't like that. And so, no, well, Jimmy, they released everything before, you know, they released all the photos right before, actually. And it's ironic that the one set of photos that they did not release before pre-order, photos of the flight system. Notice you got those the day of the pre-order. As a matter of fact, I got them from Monica when Monica went in the store, and then he saw the photos for the first time of the flight pole system, and he was like, yo, what is this? I was like, oh, damn. And that was the morning of pre-ordering. So I thought that was a little, like interesting how InArt withheld those photos until the day of pre-ordering. And like I said, I'm saying that as a first-time InArt customer, take that perception to it. I'm purchasing this order. They have my money. Now I can speak my truth because they have my money. I didn't like how those photos were released the morning of, because it kind of like, and I really do think they did it on purpose, so that way people were kind of on the fence about it. Needless to say. The other thing I'm concerned about is I like the idea of the sculpted, rooted hair thing. But if you zoom in on one of the photos, Connor, if you back up the photos, you can. I hope that it's not that bad in person. If you zoom in on the photo of the hair specifically,
that might be a bad angle.
Keep going. No, keep going. It'll be one of they just show.
It's the other one.
There you go. You can specifically call out the difference between the sculpted and the rooted. Like you can see it there, the color. You can draw a pencil around that and say, boom, that's the sculpted hair. Now, like I said, I'm criticizing, but once again, I'm a customer. They have my money. I'm pre-ordering the figure. It's coming home. So I feel like, you know, I'm not holding back. I hope that improves a little bit. Obviously, this is the first sculpted, rooted thing. So I like what they're doing there. The price on it's good. That's kind of where I wanted it to be. I honestly thought this was going to be a $500 figure.
Yeah, I was thinking $425.
Yeah,
so it came lower than I thought it was
going to be $500. And Superman's an interesting character, Connor, and I think on Hot Toys too. He doesn't come with much, so you got to kind of like give him accessories. Because like for me, I won't display him with the spear. If you have the armored suit, Batman, great accessory.
Right, I'm giving that to Batman.
Oh yeah, 100% all day. That's great. I'm going to display him with the angry sculpt because I think they nailed it. The angry sculpt is on point, 100%. And I'm having flying with the flight pole. I'm hoping that they do go back and revisit the flight pole. Now, credit to InArt. They listen to community feedback. And I hope that there's something else that, you know, I have experience with zippers, doing the zippers. I know you have. I mean, for example, like when I did the swap out cape on my Justice League, I went from draped to wired. You have to break the cape and unzip it because it's like stitched to the back, and like the zipper got stuck. Everything gets stuck. I mean, unless they hired, I don't know, like Nike to make the zipper or something like that. It's just going to be a regular zipper. Like the suit itself can be re-engineered. The zipper's a zipper. I mean, I don't know what they could have done. So I'm concerned about that. And I hope they kind of look at it down the road. I thought they were quick to jump on my comment and say like, oh, the suit's the way it is. Da, 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 da. Like, I was like, oh, okay. I just hope they kind of think about something maybe different. I don't have the answer. If you're going to tell me like, what would you do? I don't know. But
right. It's not as easy as like, just do this,
Exactly. So like, it is what it is. Once again, to reiterate, I'm buying the figure. Okay. So for anyone out there, like, I'm buying the figure. But nevertheless, and I know comments are boom, boom, boom. My fan base is now here, so I understand that. InArt has always been great prices for what they offer in each set. That's subjective. I don't agree with that statement. It depends on what you see as accessories. Like for me, if you're someone who displays their figure and not use the accessories, then it is what it is. Like you could throw a whole bunch of stuff. Like how many people are really going to display Superman holding a kryptonite block? Really, he's going to be in flight or museum pose. That's honestly the most iconic poses. But I get what they're doing. They're giving you extra stuff to make it worth the value. Like those photos of Martha, never will use them. That's just me personally.
I would say,
but I don't see people.
Yeah, the kryptonite block. That's more of like, to me, that's like a proximity piece. Like, who the hell is gonna? 100%. Why would you have Superman just holding?
Yeah, no. You know what I mean? But I get what they have to do. He's a character like Supergirl from Hot Toys. She comes with nothing except hands. So it's like, I get it. Like, I totally understand as a
they're
company,
giving us some value as much
as
they
give
can.
us some value for what it is. Like the money shot here, and I'll stop talking. The money shot I really did love was him holding the spear from a photography standpoint. It looks
beautiful.
Dude, that's a gorgeous photo. Like, it's gorgeous. Him holding the spear with his head down. Never would display him that way.
The way the light reflects.
Oh, I hope. And that's another thing is like, I would be cool if that kryptonite was like a little USB light, light lit it up, have a little light inside.
Yeah.
Proportions on the body, it just looks so accurate. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick and tell you like, oh, I think this is wrong. I think it looks like a human being. How about that?
Right, much more accurate to real human muscle proportions. Yeah,
exactly. It looks great. Like if they delivered and said this is final, that's it, then I would accept that as is.
Yeah.
But I don't like the flight pole. I think that it's something that, as you touched on, I think that it's something that could see long-term issues versus short-term. And yeah, I think you agree. A lot of companies don't think about that because once they sell the figure off, once you sell it off, I mean, there's once you sell off the figure and someone buys it, it's yours, not theirs.
Right. If you know that it's gonna last at least a year, and it's not gonna be an immediate issue, I get it. Like, but it's nice to see that at least InArt's willing to try different things. And
it's different than the crotch grabber. And as a collector, you can throw it back. Well, what about Hot Toys? Theirs sucks.
They're all their, the crotch grabber. Relatively speaking, I don't have an issue with. What I have an issue with is their flight poles. Flight poles are garbage. They always have been. And for a company that has so much money and resources, the fact they haven't redesigned them again.
Well, how many times
I was going to say, at least I got to give credit to InArt for attempting to do something different.
100%.
I don't want to shit on that,
100%. It's just that when I saw it, and going back to my final point is, what I'm saying is from a customer point of view, from someone who was actually going to buy the figure, was that like we saw these 20 photos literally the day before, and it was like great because I made a video going through all the photos. And then the next morning I was driving to work. It was like 7 o'clock, and Monica sent me photos because he was in a store to pre-order it, and he was like, "Bro, did you see this?" I'm like, "What?" And he sent me the photos of the flight pole. I'm like, "What is that?" He goes, "Just walked into the store and this is what they have advertised." He goes, "It wasn't up yesterday." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of messed up." He goes, and I agree. I think they did it on purpose, where if more people had time to stew about it, maybe some people would be more turned off and not pre-order it right away versus, everyone jumping on the day of and doing it. But
yeah,
I didn't really like that, how they didn't show those photos. But
yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, guys, once again, before I take it off of the screen, we're going to move on to the exciting InArt plethora photo that we got today. But once again, if you haven't already, use code HGHSoups through 16kit to save $10 on your purchase of the InArt Superman. And again, that's good through October 27th. So, but guys, we're going to move on. This is kind of the main event that I've been wanting to talk about all day. This is really, really special, guys. So let me swap some things out here. So a lot of you guys are probably asking what's coming from InArt. Well, we have a photo here of what's coming from InArt, and you know, there's a lot to digest in this photo, guys. You guys probably already know the first thing that caught my eye, and that's the Richard Harris Dumbledore in the corner there. How exciting as a Harry Potter fan to finally be getting some proper Harry Potter figures after all this time. I really cannot put it into words how exciting this is for me. You guys know I day one pre-ordered that Harry Potter, you know, and I understand Ryan's point of view. Like they chose the Sorcerer's Stone Harry Potter. For me, I'm such a diehard Harry Potter fan. I don't care. As long as we're getting Harry Potter stuff that I can have in my collection and enjoy and look at every day and say, I have legit Harry Potter figures other than that garbage from Star Ace. Like, it just makes me so happy. And how, you know, Chris and I were talking about this morning. How strange does life work where we got this tease of the Richard Harris Dumbledore this morning, and then the Dumbledore that we know and love that played Dumbledore throughout all of the films basically passes away today. Just such a weird coincidence.
Is that weird that I said that? Because I told you how, like, he's my favorite Dumbledore, and like literally 30 minutes later I see the article pop up that he passed away. I'm like, right. That was creepy as hell.
Such an unfortunate coincidence, but also like kind of like a blessing in disguise. I mean, and you know, this obviously is not that actor. This is a different actor. This is the original actor that portrayed him, but just such a weird coincidence, right? It's like you're excited about a Dumbledore figure, and then you find out that the Dumbledore that we know and love passed away. So very strange, but not to be negative, guys. I'm extremely excited about this Dumbledore, man. Because you look at like the Gandalf and how fantastic he looks with the rooted beard and the rooted hair. And it's like, it's kind of hard not to expect big things from this because they did such a great job from what I'm hearing with Gandalf, from what I've seen. So I'm really excited for this. For me, it's like, now I'm like, what is he going to come with? Because, you know, there's so many incredible things they can include with Dumbledore from the first film. So I'm really excited to take a look at that. And guys, once we actually take a look at this teaser photo, I do have some actual photos of these characters from the film, so we could take a look at, you know, with the Daenerys. I know Daniel brought up the Daenerys. That's another one I'm really excited for. And I know my girlfriend's really excited for it because that's her favorite character in any show or movie of all time. But Chris is very excited for it as well. So I do have a photo of what some collectors have been theorizing this may be based on what we could see from the back here. And I will share that with you guys after we kind of analyze this photo here. But yeah, it does appear to be her snow outfit with a little tuft of fur on the side there. But Chris, you know, let's just start with the Dumbledore and the Daenerys. Like, how monumental is this teaser photo for you? I like I said, you know, it's very monumental for me just for the Dumbledore alone. But then throw in Daenerys, the one that I know you've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, I've been, since I saw her name on their list when they announced it, I've been dying to get a proper representation of her in my collection. I had 2 of them from 3.0, sold one of them off, which you still currently have that version. Yeah. And then I have her season 5, and they just don't hit properly. And so I've been super excited with what InArt is capable of, seeing what they can do, and just hoping that that likeness is just spot on. So one, I'm super excited for that, and I hope they continue that line too. I wouldn't mind seeing other Game of Thrones figures as well. And then the Dumbledore, like we were just talking, like I want to see some more complete line, like more of Harry Potter stuff, and the fact that we're also getting that IP from somebody who does these hyper realistic things. I'm super excited about that as well. And then yeah, it's unfortunate we lost, you know, our friend, but I had told you earlier, and I said in comments, if people saw, like, we know these characters will live on forever, and now what better way to have them also represented on the display to further that. So yeah, super happy, sure. Super excited, bro.
For sure. And then Chris, the other thing, and this is for all Harry Potter fans, let's not forget, John from InArt already said they were doing all 3 kids from the first film. So this is prior to even that, we're seeing Dumbledore. Yep. So yeah. And you know, and we had that video recently from InArt as well, where they basically said, like, hey, we're really excited about this Harry Potter line. We plan on kind of really going hard with this line. And that's what I was hoping for the moment I heard Harry Potter in art. I'm like, please go hard on this line. They're going hard on Lord of the Rings, and I'm glad to hear that they're going hard on Harry Potter. I'm all in on it. Take my money in art. Just keep making this stuff, and I will buy it. That's how I feel about the Harry Potter stuff.
Even if with Daenerys, like if it's not her, version that I want, or like the suit that I want, like, and it's that snow one, it's not her greatest, at least I don't think. It is kind of an important moment, but like I'm just after that likeness. Like I just want a proper representation. I'll be happy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what she comes with as well.
Yeah, me too. And that's like the biggest mystery with these figures is, I want to see what they look like, but I also want to see what InArt dreams up in terms of accessories, because they went hard on Harry, right? I think he really included anything that I could imagine personally.
Everything that the kitchen sink.
Right. So they really went hard on that one. So I'm really excited about that. Mike, I want to transition to you. I know we were talking about Dumbledore, talking about Daenerys. Do either one of those interest you? And then I want to move into, I believe his name is Thorin. Again, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, so I don't want to butcher that. But I want to hear your thoughts on that as well, being a big Lord of the Rings fan. Because I saw some people saying, like, out of all the characters they could have done next, why did they pick this one? So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. And Lane, as we move to you afterwards, I want you to answer the same question as well, because I know you're also a big Lord of the Rings fan. So, Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Thorin Oakenshield is an awesome character. I didn't like the movies. So the Hobbit trilogy, I wasn't a big fan of. And a lot of the, I don't know, a lot of the dwarves were portrayed like very strangely in that film. They took some liberties with their characters.
Hello, fish barrels.
What's that?
I said hello, fish barrels.
Yeah. So, it is a weird choice. I'm sure it's going to look incredible, but it's not necessarily one for me. I'm not jumping into. It was hard to resist the original two, the Gandalf and the Aragorn, but I held strong on them. But I'm sure it's going to look just as awesome as those do. And the same can be said with all 5 of these that they're showing here. They're going to look great, but the only ones that catch my eye, and I'm not going to go there yet because I know we're going to get to them, but those 2 on the left. Daenerys, look, I'm a red-blooded American. I just never had a crush on her. I don't know. Emilia Clarke's performance just didn't do it for me. And I never really liked the character. I always thought she was a little weak. And then it completely fell off the rails at the last season. But
I think you broke Chris. Hey, but Mike, I'm with you. I'm a Jon Snow guy. So in order to be a Jon Snow guy, you have to be opposed to Daenerys. So
exactly, you don't bend the knee. So
King of the North, baby.
So yeah, I
did my boy dirty.
I can resist those 3 to the right, but I'll be kneeling before Zod for the ones on the left. I can tell you.
Yeah, that. Man. Yeah. But yeah, and Mike and Chris, collectively, I do think Chris made a good point. I don't know if this outfit that InArt chose for Daenerys is the one that we would have been asking for. I think most of people probably wanted that season 8 outfit. I think that's where a lot of people stand right now. Or even one of her like earlier on outfits. I think a lot of people would have preferred. But I do appreciate that InArt is trying to do more obscure outfit choices, especially we saw it with Michael Jackson, right? Who would have thought that was going to be the outfit they chose for Michael Jackson? There's so many other looks that are more iconic than that one. However, that's their way of kind of challenging themselves and doing something different. And I personally can appreciate that,
They could have done the earlier version of her, like 3-0 did, because you could have done the dragons again, and that would have been cool to see.
Certainly,
you can't
but
really do them when they're adults.
Yeah, certainly. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of that look with the blue. I got that strictly for my girlfriend. That was a for her purchase.
I'm not either, but I just like the accessories, like the fact you get her. It's in her title.
For sure. No, for sure. No, as much as I personally, if I had a choice, it would have been season 8. Like as much as I dislike her actions in season 8, that scorched earth, Mother of Dragons, ready to go look, that would have been my choice. I love like the darker colored outfit. So I would have chosen that. But again, I'm not opposed
Daniel's
to this one.
Right down there. Like all the behind the scenes, all that promotional stuff she was doing where she took you on tour, like she was in that a lot.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I think this is a beautiful outfit. If this is the one that we think it is, it's beautiful. And guys, I'm going to show a photo of it. So, if done properly with all the pleats and the lines and the fabric and everything, and the fact that it has that uh, fur on the shoulder, it could be a banger. It could be a really nice piece. So, I'm excited to check it out for sure. And all I'm hoping for, which they're going to do it. They're going to give us a Jon Snow, right? So I'm like, should I sell my 3-0 Jon Snow now? Because we're gonna get a Jon Snow, dude. There's no way that figure is begging for rooted hair. It's just begging for rooted hair. So
it is.
I'm really, really excited to see what they do for Jon Snow, because that's my favorite character. Jon Snow, that's my boy. So, or bro, like a rooted Tyrion. I don't know if they would touch Tyrion because that's just kind of like an obscure type of character to do, but you never know. But yeah, I'm definitely really excited to see what comes from these two figures in particular. Again, the Thorin, I bow out on that one. But Lane, I know you're falling asleep here because I know you told me like this photo didn't really do anything for you. But Lane, out of the first three that we've mentioned before we move on to the gods among men standing next to each other there, what are your thoughts on these three? And Lane, being a Lord of the Rings / Hobbit fan, since I'm now learning Thorin is a Hobbit character. What are your thoughts on their choice as Thorin being their Lord of the Rings figure next?
Thorin is totally weird. They should just be doing Legolas, man. I can't understand maybe why they want to drag it out just a little bit for probably the main three more than anybody that they think about for people who would buy. Because, I mean, it's really Aragorn, Gandalf in some form, or Legolas is probably three, and maybe then Gimli. The Hobbits are like the bottom totem.
Yeah,
probably funny enough, the guys who are most important are probably the bottom of the ones most people, because after you get past the Fellowship, you start getting to Elrond, maybe Galadriel, Arwen, and even more than then, people probably soon go like, nah, I want like the Witch King or a Nazgul, or I want Sauron, the bad guys. They start working usually. Daenerys, I mean, I think it's cool they're doing her. If they were doing something from The Hobbit, I would really prefer a Bilbo, honestly, because Thorin was angry Aragorn light, kind of. Aragorn, if he was bad all the time. I guess they really want to show off their rooted hair capability. You're not going to beat a dwarf, man. I mean, those guys are hair all over the place. The Dumbledore, I think that's cool they're doing it. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. That's kind of the problem is that probably none of these I'm actually going to buy.
Yeah.
I'm very mujust locked into Star Wars for 1/6 scale. If they ever did Star Wars, then I'm dead meat, like badly so. I'm just like, oh God, rooted ham, rooted Leia. Oh, here's $1,500.
Yeah, I'd be toast, bro. I'm gonna be selling off a lot of Marvel if that ever happens.
Yeah. I think it's now the thing I know. You say like you're doing out of Thorin. I am kind of glad they're willing to try it. Now, I don't think Daenerys is like going way out there on a limb or something, but how badly that last couple seasons of Game of Thrones damaged the brand. Like those seasons damaged the brand. I think House of the Dragon brought it back a little bit, but that's also like a prequel set hundreds of years before.
I love House of the Dragon though, dude.
Yeah.
And Art, if you're listening, please do Daemon from House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Please. That's my favorite character.
He's even been waiting for 3-0 to do.
Yeah. 3-0 at this point. Who cares?
I think that Jesus Christ, man. 3-0 actually makes good stuff. I regret.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of anime figures or Transformers, right now they're focusing on that stuff. Which for those who are fans of it, I'm glad. For me, they're not doing any more Stranger Things.
This means you need to get more robots in disguise in your detail shelves in your mod cases. That's all. But hey, I've been nice and quiet most of tonight because I didn't want to have to like Ryan because I knew on that Superman.
Well, yeah. Why do you think I saved Ryan for last? I want to hear what he has to say about this lineup.
Yeah, but I think that I'm glad to see they are trying something different, which maybe at the same time they know that they're not going to be a ton of pre-orders, so they're going to have lower production run, which also may help kind of build up the idea of more exclusivity for their product. I wouldn't be surprised if that plays into it a little bit as well, and maybe saving money on production a little bit too, because they're going to make less of some of these guys.
Yeah.
Thorin is kind of the one that feels weird. I would agree with you. I'm surprised they're not doing the two kids, Hermione and Ron, before doing Dumbledore. But, InArt might have a thing for doing guys with big beards, because it seems like it.
That could, okay.
But I would just sub out Thorin, and I would put, I think they should be doing Legolas or Thorindal or somebody else other than Thorin. Because
I saw mentioned in the chat Legolas, Frodo, Sam. I mean,
can I just say something real quick about the Thorin thing? Like from a collector's point of view, and I'm not a collector who's buying this line, but I'm trying to think of one. If I were, it seems like for a young company that it's a little bit of a lack of focus. They're not producing a lot of figures a year. They're not announcing as much as, say, a Hot Toys would be. So to jump from, if you're trying to say, hey, I really hope they release, the Fellowship. I would love to have all of those figures. And then you see like Thorin Oakenshield announced. It seems like it's a lack of focus, at least.
Right. For continuity, especially when you're establishing a line.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Hot Toys has lacked on too, that everybody hates. And so it's
they never complete lines,
see them to kind of go down that same path. Not saying they will, but it's like on that trajectory.
Or Hot Toys can be putting out figures for a show, like they put out 2 figures, and then you go like 2 months without any other figures from the movie or show, and then they're like, "Hey, here's another 2," and you're like, "Well, you guys were just doing something else." For the last, why did you take 2 or 3 months to put, we thought this line was finished, or we
right, surprise, here you go,
figures in it, and you're like, well, I'm now thinking, if you're trying to prioritize stuff, I guess I would just say, and Ryan and stuff like you guys, because I'm not really all in on the InArt stuff because I haven't bought anything so far from them. But do you guys like that they're doing individuals from from different IPs, or would you guys prefer it if, like we were talking about, at least get maybe the Fellowship? If they were doing that, get Gandalf in Aragorn and Legolas out for pre-order, and then now we're doing Harry Potter, and they do stuff from that.
They got to balance they have to balance the IPs to keep everyone involved. Like, how many IPs do you have here? 1, 2, 3. You have 4 IPs in one photo, so they got to give everyone a little taste of something that's going on here
to keep interest, which is fine.
But don't take cues from Hot Toys where don't incomplete, like Harry Potter. If minimum
they do older.
But here's my thing: Harry Potter, you have to commit to the 3 kids, Dumbledore. I think a lot of people would call that, be like, cool, that's good. Like, I know you're shaking your head, but I'm saying is, it's not like Hot Toys where it's like they incomplete a line and the figures are 280. You're talking 500 plus a pop for a figure. And there's definitely people that want, like, for example, I have full belief and expectations that we're getting a Ben Affleck Batman and a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. And I will get those because I know there's people that are getting the Henry Cavill on the hopes that they're going to do the Trinity. I know over and over again they've said they're going to. Saying you're going to and releasing something are 2 different things. Plans change all the time. And all I'm saying is, InArt, take a cue and don't do what Hot Toys does. Keep pumping out. I mean, there's a lot of POs, guys. How many figures are we up to that are, taking deposits to get the figures out, make people happy. So far, they're making people happy. They're doing something right. Just don't get, overextend your reach and put out too many POs, and then people are gonna be like, well, where's my figure? Where's my, what I'm saying? Like, you got
it's already happening right now.
It kind of is.
Someone made a joke in the chat. We'll see these in 2026.
Yeah, and it's a joke, but don't make it reality. And then the other thing is that, like I said, completing the lines, I would be fine. I'm not buying it, but if they did the 3 kids, Dumbledore, personally,
it's a set. I would love if they didn't do anymore.
Yeah, and there's some people that want Harry Potter for the sake of getting Hermione and Ron, because they want the 3 kids together because it looks good visually. Whether or not and recall someone tell me if InArt said they were doing them. I think they said they were.
John did say, and Daniel mentioned maybe they are going to move on to the later versions of them. As far as I know, I think John said they were doing all 3 kids from the first film.
Yeah, well, that's another gripe. I don't really take what John says with a grain of salt a lot of times, but I mean, I do think that if they're going to do them, you got to do them from the first movie, everything continuity wise, especially like I said, you're paying 500 plus a figure. People do want it, and people are upset about Hot Toys. And that's a gripe that I have, is that Hot Toys doesn't finish what they start, one reason or another.
Yeah.
They don't finish lines.
Right.
and
Someone
it
just
sucks.
brought up the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 line. We still don't have Drax.
Literally.
Still don't have
And then
Mantis.
that's where we lead into assumptions. And then as YouTubers, we get kind of crap for all you guys
Hawkeye.
pursuing. Yeah. Look at Hawkeye. I would have gotten Kate Bishop if we got Hawkeye, because I love the purple, the black and purple suits. I did not get her because she does not stand. She stands out in my collection like a sore thumb without Hawkeye. So
Yeah, well, like with
she
that
got
one,
cut. That's
if
just what it is.
So Toys didn't give us that Kingpin from Hawkeye, I would have probably canceled Kate Bishop, because it's just such an obscure character.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
But my feeling on is that when it comes to Harry Potter is this: the more the better when it comes to Harry Potter for me. That's my dream display.
I just want Snape.
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but big but if they just said you get Dumbledore and the 3 kids, I would be satisfied.
You can't complain about that.
Right. I can't complain, because that's more than I ever thought I would get. I honestly never expected somebody proper to pick up this license, because it got dogged for so many years by Star Race. I had no hope for it. So I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be satisfied with the 3 kids and Dumbledore. That's more than I ever expected. However, as a diehard fan,
you want everything.
having this dream display in mind, I got to have Snape. I got to have Sirius Black.
But what
Professor
I'm trying to say
McGonagall,
is,
Hagrid, like those are all figures I would like to see.
if they did Kid Harry Potter, already done, and I'm saying they did older Ron and Hermione,
Right, that'd be
wouldn't
goofy.
bug you?
It would be
Yeah.
no, that would bug
that's
me.
what I'm
That
trying
would
to
bug
get
me.
at. It's like,
No, I wasn't
I
addressing
don't
your
want them
comment in
going down
particular.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to either. As bad as, because Chris, you know this, I'm on record saying I really, best case scenario coming from InArt would have been Deathly Hallows Part 2 for me. That's the looks I wanted. I wanted Harry Potter, who came back to life with the Resurrection Stone and defeated Voldemort with the help of his friends. That's what I wanted.
Done the last film, their final version, everybody.
Right, that's what I wanted. But am I happy getting the first film? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Daniel said InArt wants to do it, and I'm glad to hear that, Daniel, because again, that was my ideal vision for, hey, if we only get these versions of the characters, I would want Deathly Hallows Part 2, bro. Like Neville with the Sword of Gryffindor, how incredible would that be? Voldemort, like, please do a proper Voldemort. Please, just, I want Voldemort so bad. It's like,
let's say they did these 3 kids, and later down the line, they ended up doing the older. I'd probably give up the kids to bring in the older, because that's what you definitively want.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, like
Hagrid,
your
Dobby.
definitive, figure or whatever from a movie or something.
All I can say I want now is, thanks to Mike from one of his comments earlier, I better get a Zod.
Oh, you want a Zod, like a
Terrence
OG
Stamp, like Terrence Stamp, kneel before like Zod, man. Like now I thought about that. I want that figure now that I think about it from InArt.
Go get the Hot Toys.
Yeah.
I
guess Lane,
not that idiot Zod.
No,
I mean the real Zod.
I know what you mean.
I guess Lane. Now we can talk about the real special stuff here hiding in the corner, since you brought up Zod. God, it's so funny to me, guys, and I implore you to watch my most recent video. If you don't watch the whole thing, just skip to the middle for the funny little joke that I tossed in there, because I kid you not, I filmed a video on like DX Artisan figures I would like to see with the rooted hair and everything. And I said in that video, I don't care if it's InArt or I think I said like whether it's InArt or Hot Toys. And I was talking about the Christopher Reeve Superman. What are the odds I filmed that video yesterday and today we wake up to this, man? So
you know what this makes me wonder? With
you in cahoots with
season? It makes me wonder a little bit if J&D just is now getting, is announced they're going to get into 6 scale, because they had already just put out recently the Christopher Reeve statue 3rd scale, which has had mixed results for it. Makes me wonder if maybe J&D, when they were preparing, or maybe one of their first figures they were considering going to announce was one they've already done a statue for recently. If they were going to maybe have Christopher Reeve was maybe going to be one of their first figures.
Well, Lane, I'm being told that those figures are estimated to be in the $2,000 range. So personally,
peace out, baby. Peace out. No, but I'm just saying what they might have been. There might have been some why we're
Right.
seeing this guy and stuff as part of that.
You know what's funny, Lane? When we talk about J&D, I feel like a lot of us, it's gonna be like the Thanos gift. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. When we talk about pricing, because bro, J&D, that's some high roller stuff. I ain't got that J&D money,
Yeah,
boy.
no, there's like as I've told you,
Silicone
before,
bodies and everything. That's the
yeah,
serious stuff, man.
I've heard some of this stuff, and it just sounds. As a guy who's bought some of the statues, he said the statues I thought were banana pricing. That's why I probably am not getting any more of them. If they're doing some of these figures and stuff like that, I just say, are you guys trying to read at the market at all of what you guys are trying to get into a little bit there?
It's going to be a very niche thing because, you know, a lot of us collectors, including myself, I don't have money like that, bro. $2,000 plus for one figure.
But anyway,
ain't me. Respect y'all that can afford that, but that ain't me. But
yeah, I don't want to get us distracted from these.
Right, but going back, and you know, I like Ryan's comment about like kind of balancing stuff that's been done before and stuff that's new that collectors have been begging for. And I think if we could think about one character portrayal in particular that needed a once over to today's standards, I think the Christopher Reeve Superman is certainly part of a lot of collectors' conversation. And the reason I say that, I mean, I think the original Hot Toys Christopher Reeve Superman was what, like MMS 186 or something, sub 200. And though that figure does hold up, it doesn't hold up to today's standards, you know. And not only that, guys, not only do we get a new Christopher Reeve Superman, they're giving us a Clark Kent too. Like, I mean, this is really, really, really special. Like, I think some people who aren't a fan of this version of Superman or not familiar with it don't realize how special this really is for a lot of people. Like, this is massive. And I think this was a really smart move on their part. And again, going back to what Ryan was saying about like kind of picking and choosing, okay, let's do some new ones. Let's revisit some. This was a smart, let's revisit this. That Bale Batman on their list, I'm like, yeah, you don't need to revisit that. I'm good. I've got enough of Bale Batman. I know the Hot Toys Begin suit was an atrocious release, but I feel like we're Bale Batmaned out. And, you know, I feel like Hot Toys made those improvements to their new version. It's good enough for most people. And a lot of people love their DX19. This is what you revisit right here. This is what I want to see. And I think this is fantastic. So that's really all I have to say about it, guys. Obviously, we only have a teaser photo here. I am going to pull up
the guy.
Which guy here?
The one to the right of Superman. It looks like
that's Clark Kent.
Oh, so it is Clark and Superman.
That's Clark and Superman.
Okay, I didn't know who that one had been. I heard about the sequel.
Wait, you didn't know that Clark Kent was Superman?
No, I meant that
you can leave the stream now, man. You can leave the stream.
It was the glasses. That's the
glasses can throw you off. Yeah.
Oh, here they go. Yeah, the Dark Knight. Guys, we don't need it. We don't need it, guys. I want something more exciting than that.
No, we don't. Once again, that's redoing stuff that's already been done.
How many figures right now how many Bat Pods are still sitting in Sideshow's warehouse? How many figures of Dark Knight 2.0?
Not for nothing. Christian Bale sucks as Batman anyway. So
you shut your mouth, Ryan.
Ryan, you go to come out room, man.
But no, Jimmy, because here's the thing: the DX19 is not falling apart. That's my thing, or it's not aging poorly, and Hot Toys just revised it, and it looks much better. So it's like I don't. And now if they did a Begin suit, sure, that whatever. Yeah, it's like they could do so much. Jimmy, I know the DX19 is not accurate, but a lot of us have our DX19s and we enjoy it for what it is. We enjoy it for the price point. So I don't need Daniel. Not every character, dude. Not every character. It's select characters.
There's the new suit and all that with the armory. So you can.
And anyway, like I said, Christian Bale sucks as Batman.
You mean?
Sorry, Ryan, you were muted. Nobody could hear you.
Yeah, what was that, Ryan? Was that the wind?
You're muted.
Yeah, he's fabulous. I heard you there. Yep.
No, he sucks.
I was just. You know what I want to say about this Superman though?
George Clooney's better.
That's just blasphemy right there, bro.
I'm the first man in a suit character that I'm interested in because his Clark Kent portrayal, as much as I love Henry, like nobody did charming Clark Kent like Christopher Reeve did. And, you know, I would say that Henry didn't really get the opportunity to do it because of the nature of his films, but to see this Christopher Reeve and like maybe I'm sure they're going to give him the hat that he throws on the
bro,
it's
when
still
Clark
okay.
Kent, dude,
It's
like
so cool.
imagine this, bro. Imagine this, Mike. I don't think it's completely out of the question for InArt to do a phone booth for Clark Kent.
Oh,
I don't think that's
Oh, my
completely
God.
out.
Can you imagine?
And imagine,
He's got the
right,
suit under his
posing
shirt.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, like $2,000. Yeah, I could imagine. It made out of real metal, and you know, you hook it up to your dial-up, and like the phone actually works.
I told you, Ryan, at $2,000, I'm priced out, bro.
I'm just saying, like, you know,
if it's
Dorky
$2,000,
glasses,
kiss that,
big
kiss
ass
my height for
dorky
this figure.
glasses.
Goodbye.
by the way, Michael Keaton is the best Batman. Just I want to.
Michael Keaton is the best
That's
Batman.
an
But
argument you
Bale
can
is
make for sure.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Bale's
Bale sucks.
fantastic. No, he
Dude,
doesn't.
I could
How
live
dare
without the phone booth, but I would love to have at least just the top portion of the suit underneath his
you. Right,
shirt.
to have that ability to do that
Incredible.
iconic classic pose. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't trip over the phone booth either, but is it really that crazy of an idea for InArt? They did a jail.
it's actually, yeah, it's very crazy.
Ryan, they did a full die cast and real wood jail cell diorama. They did a
true.
fucking window for Harry Potter, like a full Gryffindor common room window. It's not out of the question whatsoever. Do I need it, Ryan? No, I don't need it. But how cool would that be?
When people see the price tag, they won't. You know, yeah,
dude.
Hey Connor,
What
you
about a
mentioned-
similar diorama that the Hot Toys one came with?
Yeah, the Fortress of Solitude base. That's
what made out of cardboard?
No, it's plastic. It is plastic. The Fortress of Solitude base is plastic.
That one
don't
was
you dare.
plastic, yeah.
It was a pain in the butt to put it together, but
special.
Jimmy, see, I'm not against that because you know the rooted hair from Hot Toys. It's not wool rooted hair, so I'm not against that.
That one now, like you know, the 2.0 hasn't come out yet, and
that sucks balls now because we got the wool rooted hair.
Yeah. I've had that on pre-order since like what? When did it come out? Like January 2020.
It's been a minute, dude. It's probably
Lane's gonna cancel that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I can't cancel that one because I pre-ordered for my LCS and had it paid off since like March of 2021. But you know that hair, you look at that now and you kind of go, oof. You know, it's just a oof.
Yeah.
At this point,
OG fans ready to shell out for the phone booth. InArt, come on, give us a phone booth. I don't know, Field of Burns. I don't know, man, because like they've included the diorama stuff and all the other sets. Now, what I will say is it will tremendously drive up the price. It certainly will if they do it. But I mean,
yeah, but it'll be in a deluxe or something. So,
yes,
yeah, Daniel, I would.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I would be fine with that. You know, Daniel, you know, collectors have different standards. You already know I'm not the accuracy police guy. I'm not that guy. I've found enjoyment with the stuff I have, knowing full well that Hot Toys stuff isn't 100% accurate. I know that. I know it. Hot Toys isn't the accuracy standard. That doesn't bother me because the Bale has a cowl on, so you know that doesn't affect anything for me. So to answer your question, yes, for me as a collector, my personal taste, it would not bother me. But like I said, I agree with you. That is a figure that I think InArt could do much better. Is the Selena Kyle for sure.
Now, if we're talking the Batman 100, that thing is a painful thing to look at.
Hey,
yeah, it's garbage.
It's weird. I'll give you that for sure.
It's weird garbage.
What are we saying is weird? Sorry,
Weird
I missed that.
You missed
that blue and gray DX19. It's weird garbage.
Connor, you gonna let him get away with that?
You know, all this
Let me tell you something right now.
About Bale,
wait for the C of weightless conversions.
Oh yeah, no,
because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and be warned, that thing is gonna come out at the wrong time.
You talking about
Honestly,
that armory set?
I'm shocked that figure hasn't.
Blue Bale.
The WB100 Batman. I'm shocked it
Yeah.
hasn't released yet, to be honest. And when it does, it's going to come at the wrong point where that's going to be a figure that people are going to have to make decisions and cancel. Like you got like 3 invoices, and then you have that thing. That thing's
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. And then you get an email, and then it's like, yeah, oh crap, you got to owe $300.
Well, you know, it is funny that Wonder Woman came out way before that one because I figured it was going to completely, you know, be the reverse of those two actually coming out.
This is where you enter the. So you're telling me there's a chance? That's where you throw that GIF in right here. That is true. They did. I forgot they did that bat signal separate. That is true. Yeah, I was really close to it.
All in favor too.
Because who thinks they have grails? Are you talking to me, Tony?
He's trying to make fun of me. That's a poor joke. He's trying to make fun of me.
Okay.
But yeah, Obi-Wan now.
But that's true. He doesn't. Daniel, I respect your opinion on it, dude. Again, we're different collectors in that regard. It would not bother me at all. Now,
to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you right now, those kind of comments like don't make collecting fun. Like, don't make collecting fun at what collecting is supposed to be about. Like sitting there, all that minute stuff. That's not what this is about. Like, so we're going down a conversation right now. That's like I would just move on from it.
Guys, we're just having fun talking about InArt.
Yeah.
We're about to close out the stream here. I'll read this last comment, and then I'll get some final thoughts from everybody. Daniel says, TK, of course not, but InArt is providing realism and higher quality and details in comparison to Hot Toy. Again, at the end of the day, guys, I enjoy collecting what I like and what's good. And you as a collector, I know everybody has strong opinions about products that they prefer to purchase. However, me as a collector, I've always stood by this, and I always will. I will buy what I like. I will buy what I think is good. I don't care if you don't like Hot Toys. I don't care if you don't like InArt. I'm going to buy what I want and be happy with it. And at the end of the day, that's how everybody should collect. I don't like the Hot Toys versus InArt stuff that's constantly causing this toxicity between the community. I just want to collect what I like and be happy about it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I appreciate everybody's opinions on stuff.
There will always be some toxicity between.
Oh, of course. It's the old
stuff,
PlayStation versus Xbox thing.
Well, no,
the old Apple versus Samsung. I'm not naive to know that that's how it works. Right. It's never going to go away. It's not unique to this hobby.
Connor, that's easy. PlayStation's better than Xbox. Apple's better than Android. Hot Toys is better than InArt. Done.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's kind of 3 for 3 with Mom there.
We're like I said, it's always going to be. It's not unique to this hobby. I respect everybody's opinions, but I just want you all to know, especially if you're new.
Chris is always going to say,
what you like.
Chris is always going to tell FedEx to suck it.
Daniel, I appreciate your comments, but you're very respectful. I don't have any issues with anything you said, bro. Trust me. It makes for good conversation. And I know you guys are big InArt guys, you and Jimmy. So the moment I talked about InArt, I'm like, here we go. Here's the InArt conversation.
You started shaking on the keyboard.
No, absolutely not. I had no reason. I have no reason.
The bat signal came out.
Jimmy, I see you popping off on Facebook, dude. You've always been respectful to me, so I have nothing against you.
But also, real quick, Daniel, we all said that the Batman suit, we'd love to see that revisited, and Hot Toys has made it. So the Batman BVS suit. So, it's not, I don't know, man, unless I misread his comment, but
yeah,
but real quick, I want to say, Connor, you mentioned that you wanted to see a rooted Christopher Reeve. I think these both look sculpted.
Yeah, I mean, from the shot that we see here, I would venture to say probably, and it doesn't surprise me too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Also, we don't know if they're going to give us two versions or not. And also, if they could do a rooted Pennywise with how crazy his hair is, it's certainly not out of the question that they're going to do these in rooted as well. We don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, I think you're probably right though. In this photo, Mike, it does appear like they are sculpted. I would say that you're probably right there, but I'm not going to leave it out of the question that they may give us a rooted version. That's all I'll say. But either way, regardless of what route they go, it's still extremely exciting. The fact that they're giving us another Christopher Reeve Superman and a Clark Kent in 2023. I don't know where this conversation is going. Daniel says, LOL, saw we. Jordan says, everyone is going to collect how they're going to collect. Let it be. For sure. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, guys, that is the golden message behind all this. Collect what you like. Be happy with whether it's InArt, 3.0. Take all of our opinions with a grain of salt. Don't let our opinions
at the end of the day, some IPs like Hot Toy, they're both kind of doing things that the other isn't. And you may be a fan of this one, you'd be a fan of that one. If you like them both, then more the merrier.
Absolutely. So that is the inspirational message of the night. We're going to wrap it up, guys. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for the great discussion. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a fun time. There's been a lot of great stuff to talk about tonight. I think this is going to be a great one to talk about on the replay. So, guys, if you're watching this on the replay, share your thoughts in the comments below. I know a lot of people are really excited to talk about this stuff. But guys, just to update you, once again, I did put up a video on some DX Artisan stuff I would like to see. And lucky for me, this Christopher Reeve Superman kind of got intertwined with that video. Also, I do have a review video dropping probably at I think I scheduled it for 10:30. I did get my Petroleum Man. You guys know one of my favorite films of all time, There Will Be Blood. there's a third party, Daniel Plainview, called the Petroleum Man. So I did a review on that. The moment it got home today, I'm like, I need to film this. This is a really exciting figure for me. So if you're interested in a figure like that, the review will be up probably around 10:30. So moving on to Chris, guys. I know Chris, as we mentioned in the beginning of the stream, he wanted to announce a little giveaway because he did hit 1,000 subscribers. So Chris, if you would like to tell the viewers here what they could win when they head over to your channel.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is going to be like the main giveaway for I just figured it would be a cool thing to do, or at least start with to show appreciation. But first of all, thanks for everybody who showed up. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that. Thank you, Connor, for having me on. But it is going to be this Black Series Wolf Trapper helmet. So that is one of the things I was thinking
That's
of doing.
Dave Filoni, guys. That's a really cool piece there, especially if you collect helmets or if you're into Star Wars. It's a really cool piece.
So I'm gonna have a video on my channel. Kate Bishop is coming up. I'll probably just throw it in there. I'll probably also make a post of it in the community tab, as well as maybe in the Hot Toys Hotline group. So you'll probably find it, and then obviously in this stream. So try and get the word out as much as possible, because I don't know how well the vid's going to do itself. So I'll try to spread it around other places. But and details will be in that video as well as when I post up other places. But yeah.
So guys, definitely head on over to Collecting Madness, Chris's channel. There's a link in the description. Really quick, Daniel says, didn't expect that to happen at all. Take care, guys. Daniel, please don't take offense to anything that was said here. It was all in good fun. I very much appreciate the fun conversation, and you're always welcome back to chat anything with us.
I apologize for what I said.
No. Realistically though, I don't want anyone to feel like they're alienated from any conversation on this channel. So, Daniel, I just want to let you know it's all in good fun, bro. I appreciate the conversation.
I apologize.
You take care as well.
Feelings. I apologize.
Yeah, you don't have to say. That's just my personal piece. You don't have to say anything. But thank you so much, Daniel, for hanging out with us tonight. Evil Sneaker says congrats on 1K, Chris. Yes, big congrats to Chris, and thank you so much everybody who was so kind, dropping the comments to Chris early on in the stream. Let's see who else we got here saying goodbye. KTHW TK, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hashtag justice for Andor. Who else we got? Tony Marine says ain't nothing but a thing. Yeah, that's a great saying. Ain't nothing but a thing. And as always, guys, thank you so much. All of our great moderators, OG, dropping all of the links in the chat. Subscribe to Mr. Mom Collectibles, Collecting Madness. As I said earlier, head on over to his channel. Mike, thank you so much for being here as always, bro. Mike does not have a channel, but he is a regular panel member here. Mike, we appreciate you hanging out with us, especially on schooling me on the Lord of the Rings stuff. I very much appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Absolutely.
Always. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. I know Ryan has been putting out videos faster than I can keep up with. So Ryan's got a lot of great content on his channel. And I know, Ryan, you probably have even more stuff planned. So I don't know if you have anything. Just a slight amount of stuff.
Yeah.
As he's sitting on like 10 videos.
Yeah, I said my piece tonight. So I got the videos and stuff.
Ryan has declared all the bandwidth does belong to me.
Basically. And then Lane, finally, Lane, the legendary Lane Kramer, aka the Midnight Collector, as he calls himself. Lane, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Very much appreciate it, dude. And thank you for sharing your thoughts on everything.
Yeah, I can never seem to actually get here on time anymore since traffic.
As I always say, dude, you're never late. You're always on time. And we're in like a parallel universe where Chris is the first one in. It's crazy, man. It's a parallel universe in itself.
It has been. I'm on a streak, bro.
Yeah, we're impressed.
Did you get that put into your personal contract?
Well, he hits that 1,000 subscribers, he becomes a new man.
I started taking on UPS's motto personally, always on time.
Oh, there we go. Just, UPS is always just intertwined in his life.
Yeah, this is me just trucking on by.
On that note, though, guys, once again, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Once again, head on over to the channel around 10:30 if you're interested in seeing the review on the Petroleum Man. It'll be up around 10:30. So thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and we will see you next time. And once again, head on over to the Collecting Madness and check out the giveaway. Win yourself an awesome prize. But take care, everybody, and we will see you next time.